The real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground.
Hey, welcome everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you watching me from. I appreciate it. We got the panel today now. No one's checked in yet, but that's okay. I'm pretty sure they'll show up. What's up, Eric Terry? Today there's no topic. We're going to have the panel. We're actually going to have an open discussion, question and answer. So if you have a question for anybody, me, anybody on the panel, go ahead and put it in the comments. We'll pick it up. I'm going to try to get as many as I possibly can. That's Booby. She just woke up. Say, hey, Booby. I've got to take her in here. Give me a second. Here. You knew she was going to wake up. Maybe she heard the music. Yeah, the exchange rate, man, it's creeping up there. It's 52.31. Haven't seen it that high in a long time. What's going on, Fred? This is Fred, our resident OG. How's it going, buddy?
It's going pretty good, Calvin. And yourself?
Hold on, How's it going, Fred?
It's going pretty good, Calvin. And yourself?
Okay, good. Now I've got it turned up.
Okay.
You're welcome, man. Thanks for joining us today. You know, it's an open discussion, Fred. I'm gonna take your suggestion, even though really every live stream I have is a question and answer for real. Right?
Yep. You're right about that. You know, Calvin, I was thinking about something the other day, when you do your traveling around, you show in different areas. I never thought a lot of those places really existed in the Philippines. All the years I was stationed there, people kept telling me about Cebu and some of the other areas, and I never thought to go there. And even with the years of me coming to the Philippines, I never thought to go there.
Oh, yeah. We've got another guest I asked today, the Ingram Experience. This is his first time on the chat, Fred, and he's a pretty interesting guy, man. I was talking to him earlier today, man. I said, I got to get this guy on my panel because he's from the manosphere, right? Is that what you called it?
Well, I do mostly men's content. I wouldn't call myself a manosphere guy. I'm kind of an independent, you know what I mean? I kind of have my channel now, but my channel is mostly about empowering men and male advocacy. That's one of the things that I'm big on.
Yeah, give us a little background. I know you told me that you retired law enforcement, so that's always good to have somebody like that on the show. A lot of people on my channel, they appreciate a lawman, Fred. Fred, wasn't you in military police or something?
Oh, no, I was in administration.
Oh, okay.
Well, I actually just retired at the end of August of last year. I did 21 years of police work, but I've always been pretty active in terms of what I'm coaching in the community or whether I do my outreach work. But more so, my thing is I'm pretty much into helping men. I mean, just from working in the system, seeing what happens with men with divorces, seeing what happens with men in the system, I think a lot of male issues are ignored, especially in America. And I think that needs to be, because we live in a pretty much a gynocentric country here in America. So I think men's issues need to be brought to the forefront and dealt with, because many times men suffer alone. They don't really talk about their problems. We really can't. You're pretty much shamed for having any type of discussion or seeking any kind of support. So that's why I focus mainly on men's issue, and most of my contact is directed towards men. So,
yeah. So are you one of the guys that use the word simp a lot? Do you hear that going around a lot? What is a simp?
a simp is it put simply, a simp is just somebody who worships women, puts women above themselves. And that's a guy who doesn't value himself. He values pleasing women more than he values himself as a man. So he's basically lost all of his masculinity and lives his life to worship women. Those are the type of self-sacrificing men that you see a lot of times in the community, especially these boys that have been raised so much without any masculine leadership or any men in the house. They tend to develop certain types of mentality that, like I said, this country, the biggest thing about this country, there's a war on masculinity, heteronormative masculinity. There seems to be a war in that. And they're trying to make masculinity toxic, when the reason why we live such a privileged life is because of masculine men. Like the men on this panel, like the men in this chat, is the reason why we're able to exist the way we exist.
Yeah. I know you said something today that was pretty profound. You said the women over in the West, they want you to do everything that a man is supposed to do, but then they don't want to reward you for it. They don't want to do anything for you. I kind of found that interesting because it's almost the opposite over here. They actually reward you for being a man and holding up your end of the bargain, so to speak, over here. And that's one of the reasons why I like the Philippines.
Well, the West is purely taxation without representation. And we see that by how they emasculate men. It's completely gynocentric. And I always say the men in the West are probably the most disrespected men in the world, because here you are expected to put your life on the line for women to provide and protect. But a guy couldn't get him some scrambled eggs in the morning without being called a misogynist pig. They ain't called. I mean, you can't even tell the truth in the West. You tell the truth in the West, you're labeled automatically as a woman hater, a misogynist, just a guy having simple standards. I saw they almost roasted what's his name, the quarterback for the Patriots, Cam Newton. He just basically said he wanted a traditional woman. If you broke down his conversation, and they about killed him. But the thing about it is, we're still held to the same traditional standards, because you have all these women on here that they can have all these women channels talking about how men's got to have a certain height, got to have a certain income, got to have this, got to have that, I got to have this, and got to have that. Let a guy just say he wants some scrambled eggs in the morning, and he's the devil. It's madness in the West.
I see we've got Texas Zoe on board, and it always gets interesting. Now today, Texas, there's no topic, but I saw where you commented a couple of times yesterday on that video about, I said, meet multiple women when you come to the Philippines. Now, some guys push back on that. What do you say about that? What would be your suggestion? You've been over here a long time.
Was that for me?
Yeah, that's for you, Texas. I said.
Hey, the first thing I want to do, Calvin, is there any delays at all in my response today?
No.
Better, good. Yeah.
No. Okay. Yes, better today than it was that you were in last week, the last time.
Yeah.
Hey, Texas, you got part of your head cut off. Can you adjust it a little bit high? There you go.
Yeah.
All right. There you
Okay.
go.
So, as far as my experience here, I've been here since 2018. It's one of those things where you gotta hold your end of the bargain at the same time, and then you can expect certain things. It's certainly not a one-way highway here. It's both ways. So you can expect what you give, but for the most part, I'll always capitalize my comments on other shows and in this show that I'll never go back. Simple as that. That is the catalyst to my staying here. I'll never go back, because of my experience here. Uh, I recognize Fred. Who's the other gentleman, our guest here? Who is this? What's your name, sir?
Oh, this is
Yes,
Ingram.
my name
This
is
Ingram.
Roger. I run a channel called Ingram Experience, but more so,
Okay.
I'm just here as a
Nice to meet
guest to say hi. Salute to you, gentlemen. Hey, good to meet you, Texas Toy.
Yeah, I asked him
Thank
to
you.
come on here because a lot of us men need to be whipped in shape, Fred. He's like a man drill sergeant. He, you
Yep.
know, he's like a drill sergeant for us simps over here. We need some.
Oh
You
no,
need to
there's
be
no
whipped
there's no
in
simps
shape,
over here.
Fred.
There's all masculine men out here. Everybody out here has, they live a life. When I see men that have the balls to live life on their own terms, it takes a lot of courage for a man to jump
Correct.
on a flight, fly 8,000 miles away from his country to find peace. And that's what I always try to talk to. That's a masculine man. That's a difficult thing for any journey for anybody. The simps are the ones who are scared to do it. They're the ones who are sitting around taking second class treatment, not standing up for themselves. They're not living life on their own terms. That's that's what I call a simp. A man who would jump and fly 8,000 miles to find peace. Because I think a lot of people try to shame men in this space for finding happiness when men just want to live in peace. And that's my argument all the time. Sooner or later, I might be in the Philippines as soon as I
Yeah,
get things squared away here, because ultimately all men want to live in peace. And that's what it's all about.
yeah, yeah. Fred, now I think you came here for peace too, didn't you, Fred? Because you wasn't running from anything but that
No,
chaos
no.
over there.
Well, I spent so much time out in this part of the world that I went back to the States, and I already told my story earlier about having a business there in the Philippines, and things didn't work out. So I knew I wasn't going to live in the States anymore. So I wound up moving here to Guam, and I've been out here since '92, which I do go back and forth to the Philippines. The only thing I'm waiting for right now is for Lynn to retire in a couple of years, and then we're probably going to be out of here, or we'll just go back and forth. If the kids come back, they get the house. If they don't, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I'm not going to sell it. That's for sure.
Yeah. Now, my next video is going to be why there are no simps in the Philippines. It's going to be pretty interesting because a lot of things that make us simps in America and in the West, they're valued over here in the Philippines, man. That's,
Yeah.
So I guess this is like a symptom over here. The Philippines has become the symptom of the world because a lot of the stuff that we say a man is weak to do, and oh, look at him, he's a simp. They value it over here, don't they, Fred?
They sure do. You know, they sure do. I can't wait to get back. Not because I'm not married, I am, but being on Guam has been a good life for me. But at least I'm close to the Philippines. I don't have to fly as long, about 3 hours and something, and I'm already there. Landing in Manila. And that's my goal, guys. Is to leave here, move there. I'm already living a good life here because I'm already retired, but I'm gonna live a better life once I get over there again.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Texas. What type of situation was you leaving from over in in Texas? Why did
Well,
you
hey,
come here?
well, back home, I've had, the typical, white girls, man, Mexican girls, Latin girls, all that stuff. But it was just the same thing, man. You just couldn't settle down because either it was always a combative situation and stuff like that. And I don't play that shit, bro. So, uh, I wanted to go to a place to where a household can truly be run by a king and a queen, right? It can be both. It can be both because it's always going to be a friction, man. So I left there, and I have no children over there, so I really had nothing holding me back. I sold everything except for my properties there, and I shipped a container over here full of my stuff, and there you are. And it's good ever since, bro. I'll never look back. I've got a
Yeah,
beautiful baby. I've got a young, gorgeous wife, and she takes care of us. And it just flows like that every day. My hardest thing to do is decide what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's just I love it, bro. And what I'm saying is that I'm not labeling nobody no simps, but what I notice about these guys that come over here though, man, is the minute they get off that damn plane and shit, they're proposing to girls and stuff. Come on, man, come on, bro, like come on, man, come on, bro, come on, man. Whoa, man, bro, come on, man, you can't do that. That's one thing I'll never recommend here. No, sir. You gotta
Yeah.
explore and see where you fit. See what kind of girls you like. You like them tall, thick, thin,
Yeah.
light skin, darker ones, mountain type, beach type. I don't know what it is you're into. I know what I was looking for, so I went through a lot of them before I found the right one.
You know what
Yeah,
I always called the Philippines? You know what I always called the Philippines? Remember that show, Fantasy Island?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you go there, the plane, you've landed.
Yeah.
And when I used to go back and tell, some of the guys' stories, they didn't believe me. They thought I was lying. Would you guys believe that? They said, no, that can't be going on over there. I said, you need to come over and see for yourself. I've had friends I've invited for years to go with me to the Philippines. And I think they're, what would you call it? Simping. And I can't even leave the United States, even to come here to Guam and see me.
I know. Believe it or not, I can show you 2 messages now from 2 of my friends over there who told me I was crazy for coming here. Now they're looking for directions, Roger. What can we do over there, Roger, as men? Is there any hope for us in America? Is there something you can do?
Well, here's the thing about it. I don't think you can do anything, because here's the thing. That's what the way the culture is designed, and really it comes down to especially when the money is involved. If the system is designed a certain way, which is if you have a system that's heavily in the favor of women, because women do all the spending, right? And the whole system is designed to extract money from the men and push it towards the women. So you're going to have a gynocentric system that's being supported by the government and so on and so forth, because it's really about getting money out of men and giving the women, because women are the biggest spenders. So really, it's nothing you really can do, because anything that you say, it comes off as toxic. So you're really up against the wall.
But to reiterate what Roger's saying, toxic's not even beginning to understand and describe what the situation is over there. You have a show called The View, where you have Whoopi Goldberg and all them other girls there with failed marriages of their own, advising married people, and at the same time, all they ever do is, men are never going to be good enough, and you ain't nothing. You're never going to be nothing. And over there, even your mother-in-law is designed to be your enemy. Not over here.
Yeah, now
not over here, sir.
The Juan Ward says this.
You know that's true, Fred.
And you get this a lot. He says, keeping in mind, bashing Western women does not make the Philippines shine brighter.
Yeah.
Roger's never been here. He's just telling you about his experience, the way he sees it over there. And anybody who says, oh, it's not a reality, you must be a young guy, Juwan Ward.
We ain't bashing nobody, man. It's your system that absolutely degrades otherwise productive men in society, that they're never going to be good enough, bro. And it's always, like I said, a combat situation in a household, because one is like, I'm bringing the bread and blah blah, and the other one's like, I can go make my own bread and all that, and so it's always an argumentative situation. I didn't want to put up with that stuff.
Well, here's how I put it to the women, and I put it to the men over there. And let me ask you guys a question. And I always I present it from a capitalistic perspective. If I was to go to a tire shop, right, to buy some tires, and every time I go over there, they gave me poor customer service. They called me names. They cursed me out. Okay. Why would I still spend my money there? Okay. Why would I still spend my money there? What is the incentive for them to treat me any different as a customer? So what men are doing is saying, look, you know what? Since you're not going to treat me right at this tire shop, I'm not going to be out here begging you to treat me well when I'm a customer and I'm spending my money, when I can go to the tire shop down the street that welcomes me, treats me like a king, and treats me well. So that's what guys are doing. They're just taking their
That's right.
Greece capitalism and then moving it somewhere else. That's not simping. That's empowering. And I like when guys come at guys that go overseas, that travel, that go somewhere else. And I explain to them, it sounds to me like they're pretty intelligent. Who would put up with poor customer
They're
service and
simply
spending your money?
they're simply exploring their options and where they're comfortable and where they feel free.
That's
where
just
they're going to
capitalism. And I always tell them,
That's right.
if you got a problem with guys going overseas, then you have a problem with capitalism. Maybe you're lazy. Maybe you like to patronize bad businesses. But these guys don't seem like they are patronizers of bad. So when I hit them with that type of logic, and I explain to them, you're sitting there, you're dealing with problem women in a problem system, and you're spending your hard-earned money, you're putting your masculinity on the line, and you're sacrificing your life. Who's the fool? I'll take my business elsewhere. I don't sit outside no store begging them to treat me right. You'll never see me doing that. So if I see certain habits with Western women, I just don't bother them. I was like, good luck to you. And you guys who want all these begging them to treat me right, these manly women.
Okay, Dana, you done come on now. We getting the feedback.
Dana's got on tickets to come over here. That's right. He'll hook you up.
I tell them they can have all of them, man. They can have all those women. I don't even bother. I'm not trying to tell them to change. I'm not trying to change women over there. Or I'm like, if you want these masculine women that don't respect men, you can have them by the droves.
And then Roger, the notion that somehow the Philippines is a man's world, this and that, but yet women here holds up to 51% of professional jobs.
Right.
That's correct.
With no feminism involved. So it's clearly failed in America because feminism has been rampant since Jane Fonda, and it hasn't worked. So who exactly is missing up? Come on, man.
Hey, that's you, Dana. You got something on.
Look like you got your TV on there, Dana.
Yeah, you got that TV. You got YouTube on. You getting the feedback, but Roger, see, I say the same analogy. Sort of the same analogy as you. I said, if I were a business and I decided to move my business from America to the Philippines because labor is cheaper, the cost of doing business is lower, and the profits is higher, they'll say you're a genius. But when I take my business, which is me, over to the Philippines for the same reason, they say I'm a loser. Higher. They'll say you're a genius. But when
somebody got their TV on. Somebody got their TV on.
Yeah, Dana, that's you with the feedback. Yeah, it's you, Dana. I'm sorry.
I don't have anything on.
Somebody got their TV on. Somebody got their TV on.
See, we can hear you.
No, it's not. Our TV is not on.
Yeah, I got everything off.
Okay, but when I mute you, Dana, that's gone away. Do you have it? Do you have YouTube on somewhere on your phone or something? Okay. All right. But yeah, today is not, there's no topic. It's an open discussion, really. And a question and answer. If you have any questions for anybody on the panel or you want to make a statement, go right ahead. Let me ask you, Dana, what's the price of tickets looking like now for anybody who wants to make that leap?
Well, over the past 6 or 7 days, they stabilized because of the Easter holidays. But by Wednesday, I anticipate them to start dropping a little more.
Can you put us up a nice ticket price right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me ask you, I'm sure you also offer packages, is that right?
Yes, I do.
With the hotel and the ticket.
Yeah.
Okay, a guy was asking me the other day, he says, can I talk about the requirements to come here? And Dana, you've helped enough people. I know you need that negative RT-PCR test. You still need that 48 hours within 48 hours, guys, not after.
Yep.
Your flight. Okay. what else do we need? I know we need the COVID insurance, $35,000. Is there anything else you know, Dana?
Okay. Of course, you need your passport. A lot of times people forget about that because it's so obvious. You need to get a S pass. Okay.
Yeah.
And of course your One Health pass. And make sure you got an exit ticket. And then your COVID cards, but you're not required to prove any booster shots.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Okay.
Robert Jones wants your email or website. Do you want them to meet you at Dana Middleton, to reach you at Dana Middle at AOL.com?
Yeah, that way it's coming directly to me.
Okay, I'm gonna put it up.
And make sure they mention that they're coming through Sunshine Shoulders.
Yeah, mention that, Robert. I'm pretty sure he will. There's Dana's email address, contact information for anybody that needs him, because now it gets kind of tricky with all these requirements, guys. It used to be you just make your reservation, get on the plane, and come over here. But that's why I asked Dana to tell us what we need, because, man, I tell you, you don't want to fly 15 hours, Roger, and because the Philippines, they're petty like that. They don't care. They'll turn you around and send you home if you don't have all the requirements.
So, Roger, you're talking about moving to the Philippines?
Well, right now I still have a kid that's in college. He plays college basketball. So for me, it'll probably be after he graduates, give him about a year or two. But my thing more so is just finding somewhere where I can just hang out in peace, really just peacefulness. Because I think I've spent enough time here in the West, and that's really what it comes down to, you know.
Roger, where are you?
Right now I'm in Delaware, right outside of Philly. So I'm in that tri-state area. I'm close to Philadelphia area, New Jersey area, up in there. So I'm on the East Coast in the U.S. right now. So
will this be your first trip to the Philippines?
This will be my first trip to the Philippines. I've been more to the Caribbean type area, but more and so I'm just looking at in terms of the culture, the peacefulness of, you know, that's really what it comes down to with men. We just want to live in peace. That's really that's what a lot of people don't talk about a lot. Dudes just want to live in peace, man. Nobody wants to live with all that stress.
Peace,
that's what
and quality of life.
That's all it's about. Peace.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I'm going to tell you when my quality of life started, when I left the United States, you know, back in, first time I left was in 72, because I was military, spent a couple of tours in Thailand, Korea. And when I got to the Philippines, that was it. I didn't want to go anywhere else. I didn't want to go to Europe. I didn't want to go to Caribbean. I didn't want to go to Africa. I found my niche, and that's why I'm living out here now, because that puts me close, to where I want to be. I was back in the States for like a total of 3 years, and I knew I wasn't going to stay back there because all the crap that's going on was sort of going on when I was there. Said, this is not for me. And I didn't like the rat race they had back there. I said, I'm not into that. I don't like crowds, which I don't. I like a place where it's peaceful and quiet, and, let me tell you, been overseas really has been great. Even Guam, like I'm sitting here in the house, it's quiet in my neighborhood, and I like to feel like I'm living a life of Raleigh.
So Bushter says, so when is the entry requirements end? Your guess is as good as mine, but you have to understand that the Philippines doesn't have the healthcare infrastructure that's available over in the West. A lot of things we take for granted aren't available over here. So we're going to determine that, really. They've opened the doors to us. So if we come over here, follow the COVID protocol, wear the mask, social distance, wash their hands, et cetera, because if they see those numbers spike since they opened up these gates, they'll shut them back, man. The Philippines would do that.
Hey, Calvin,
Go ahead.
One of the prerequisites that I'm going to strongly recommend before you come over to the Philippines also is be in some sort of good health. You know, if you're planning to come to the Philippines,
Yep.
start some kind of exercise program, some kind of weight loss program, a cardiovascular program, but put yourself in some sort of decent shape, okay? Because the Philippines, as nice as it is, you know, I can tell you, starting with John, that if you need that health care, you can't expect it to be the same as what you're leaving if you're leaving North America.
Yeah.
Well, but I think some of the problems that people,
well is not going to save you from yourself.
yeah,
And that's probably what happened with John. You got to have some type of self-care. And remember your diet. I know you was talking about weight loss because there's a couple of reasons why that is. The climate over here will be hard on you if you're out of shape, if you're overweight, because you're going to do a lot more walking here than you normally do at home. And also the sexual activity. When you want to deal with these young and energetic women over here, which is what we choose to do, you better be in some kind of shape. They probably said, you know, your death certificate says a heart attack or stroke. But the reality is you death by Filipino for real. That's what it really was.
well, as long as you go with a smile on your face, Calvin, that's what's important.
Okay, now, J. Andy John says, hi, Calvin and the panel. Glad I made a chat tonight. Long time question to the panel. For woman asks you, how's your financial emotionally? Is this a red flag? Absolutely. Any Filipino that asks you about your money, that's a red flag. I mean,
absolutely.
Because they know it. There's an unspoken agreement over here that is spoken in America, but it's unspoken here because it's just a normal way of life where the man's going to do his part and she's going to do her part. See, that's a given over here. They would never even ask you that. If you come over here and you pay the bills and you make sure that they're eating properly and she's protected and taken care of, she's going to do her part.
Yep.
Yeah, so you don't have to, nobody's going to ask you about that. When they start asking about money, you need to cancel that account. That's a fact.
You got that?
I'm kind of curious, Dana, where are you going to go in the Philippines when you leave? Are you going to be up there where Calvin's at?
I'm going to start off probably in Balamban, which is right across the straits from Calvin. I go down to Toledo, catch the ferry, and Calvin picks me up at the harbor.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, Maryland's auntie lives in Balamban. It's a nice place.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, then when I get squared away, you and Marilyn can come over and stay with me.
Absolutely. He says, hey, fellas, it's good to catch a live. Hey, Calvin, I was wondering if you were planning to put the solar panels on the guest house and the big house with Bento's black house. For some reason, it's still expensive over here. It's like, you remember those digital watches first came out, Fred?
Yes, I do.
They were. I remember you could get a digital watch for about $200. Now you can get one for about 50 cents in Walmart.
Yeah, that's about it.
I think I'm going to wait until the solar panels is like that because it's expensive in the Philippines right now. Well, we're going to get to Texas to Zoe right now because I'm going to ask him again about this, the video I made yesterday. Would you suggest that a man meet several women over here? I just go for the first one that he sees.
What is happening?
No, I'm asking you what would you suggest to a man coming over here for the first time? Is it a good thing to meet several women instead of just settling on one right away?
Well, when you come over here, first of all, I would suggest you pack light. Okay, pack a backpack or something, or a carry-on. Don't bring a whole house with you and everything. That's what I did. I came over here, and when I came here, I went Zamboanga, I went Bohol, I went all the usual spots, man, Leyte, and all that Osamis, all that stuff. And but also remember, I have a hobby that's kind of a big part of my life also. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to find a place to where I could do both. Uh, but yeah, you need to explore the different islands and see how they conduct themselves. But you know, if you're just here for a month, man, just have a good time. Then you want to go to a place to where it's the nightlife is obviously rampant, like Manila, you know, Angeles City or some shit. You know what I'm saying, Cebu. But when I came here, I was scouting for an area and the kind of female I was looking for to settle down with. So, needless to say, make a story short, when I came here, I spent about 2 months, and I've decided then that I would come back and live here. So I sold everything. I went back and sold everything and shipped everything over here, and eventually settled in Davao. However, I was in Jinsan for a while, for about a year. That's where my dart landed, bro. Is in General Santos. Bam. And so I found that place a little bit more uncomfortable than Davao, even Zamboanga. It's very hot there in that area. It's a lower elevation. It's close to the ocean. The elevation of that place, so it's a lot more humid than these upper places like Davao and your area, which is San Carlos and Cebu area.
Right.
But yeah, I would definitely suggest them go somewhere and and meet people. Hit the ground, man. Hit the ground and check it out. And for about a week here, I paid a jeepney. I would pay 200 pesos to the driver, and I wouldn't even get off the jeepney. I just wanted to go see what I could see. And if
Yeah.
I
Let
wanted to
me.
get off, I got off. And yeah, and I met a lot of people that way.
Yeah. I'm going to
Hey,
ask all you guys something that's been in the news since we're kind of on this manosphere thing. I'll start with you, Roger. What do you think about that Will Smith incident? Just give a brief summary of what you think about that, and we'll move on.
Well, the first issue you have is misplaced aggression. Here's a guy that is in a toxic relationship with some Jezebelian succubus, and he doesn't have the courage to hold this woman accountable. She is shaming him on national TV, sleeping around, treating him like a pure garbage. And what happens inevitably is he in a situation where he's been emasculated for all this period of time. He comes to the Oscars, and Chris Rock makes a joke that is the most mild mannered joke. He's doing his job as a comedian, okay? And he's not offended that some guy is taking dips in his wife. But all of a sudden, he sees this as an opportunity to redeem himself after she gives him a look. So he goes up there and finds the most nonviolent guy who's not going to bite a piece out of his neck. And he smacks the guy in front of his two daughters that are sitting in the stand in front of the world. And this is the most weakest, instead of I call him the simp enforcer. What it is these guys that are trying to impress women that they can't hold accountable, but they take out their aggression, this misplaced aggression on other men. But they're in these terrible relationships like he is. And this is the type of ridiculous, stupid stuff that you see in many of the communities. And there's a lot of the violence that happened because he's trying to redeem himself in the eyes of a woman that doesn't even value him or loves him or care about him. It's such a dysfunctional situation that it got me sick to the stomach, to be honest with you. And the sickest part of it is that there were people defending this dysfunctional sickness, and that is the most cowardice I've seen in a long time. And there were people defending it. Many toxic women saw it as some type of heroism or protecting the community or whatever nonsense they came up with. But it was very disturbing.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask this question from Will Sutton. He says, how much money will he need? How much cash will he need when he comes to the Philippines? He says he's going to be here for 3 weeks. I always go with the $1,000 a week scenario. It's better to have more money than not enough.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you're probably not going to spend that much, but who knows? You get over here, your pants is on fire, your hair is on fire. You might spend all of that, but it's better to have, if you really don't know, because there's really no answer to that question. How much money will I need? Nobody knows. I don't know you, but I've come up with that $1,000 a week over here. You should be straight. What about you, Fred? What did you see in that situation?
Well, I saw in that situation, everybody saw at first he was laughing at the joke, and then when he got up on stage to slap Chris Rock, what he should have did was, the thing is he's a comedian. He's making jokes. I don't think he's making jokes. And Will was laughing. You could see that. Then the wife gets offended. What I would have did, I would have just leaned over and told her, just go and settle down. The other thing is, you really didn't have to be there in the first place. Consider her past and everything else. So what he could have did was, in fact, is Roger said it better than I can. But I guess what I'm trying to say, because I get a little emotional about when I see stuff, especially when it concerns Black men. We work hard to try to maintain, a certain type of life. Even when I was in the workforce, I knew people was always looking at me because, I ran a major office and all this stuff, looking for me to stumble over my toes. Okay. What he did was he brought shame to the rest of us, is the way I feel, because he didn't act any way a Black man should properly act. Wife could have been offended, but he should have reached over and told her, look, we can talk about this later. Or she just could have got up and left. Okay. And then looked like she had a smile on her face when he went up there and did what he did. Okay.
Yeah. I thought it was.
That turned me off. Seriously, turned me off. And any respect I have for Will Smith, it's gone. I'll be honest with you.
It was so crazy. I thought it was a skit. I thought it was a joke. But I kind of agree with Roger. He picked, because I said it. I said, of all the people, he slapped Chris Rock, not The Rock, but Chris Rock.
He wouldn't slap The Rock.
Yeah, he wouldn't slap The Rock. No,
or anybody else he wouldn't slap. Yeah.
He'll get torn.
To D.L. Hughley the other day, and he made some great points. He said everybody's talking about Will Smith, but nobody's talking about Chris Rock, man. He's forever gonna be known as the man that got slapped at the Oscars, man. I've lost respect for Will Smith for that, but you got men in America who are saying, yeah, you tell a joke about my wife and I'm gonna slap you too. And I'm like, man, come on, where have you been for 400 years? You should have been protecting your woman all these years. Now all of a sudden, if a man tells a joke, you're gonna beat us down. That's the whole
Calvin, think about this. Any comedy show that you ever been to, if you sit in the front row, what do you think is going to happen? The comedian's going to make a joke. Comedian's going to probably make a joke about you.
To me, if you were to look in the dictionary of a simp, Will Smith is the definition of that, bro. Jada's been messing him up for 20 over years, bro, since Tupac, bro. And suddenly he's all,
well, that's the thing about it.
Can I say something?
Armor all of a sudden. Come on, man.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Well, two things I want to say. I want to say that I think that forever Chris Rock will be remembered for keeping his cool under duress.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't agree with that. I'd have kicked him in his back. I don't give a damn. He wouldn't have slapped me like that, man. Come on.
Well, but we're not talking about you, Calvin, and you weren't in that situation. We're talking about Chris Rock and how he will be remembered.
But he's putting his career over his protection. There's no way I'm gonna let a man attack me. How you know that that's all it was gonna be was a slap?
But the thing is, there should have been security there at the Academy Awards, not to allow somebody to walk up on stage to do what they did. And the instant that Will Smith slapped him, they should have threw him in handcuffs and escorted him out of the place instead of allowing him to go back and sit down again. And then
I agree with that. But you guys, do you guys remember that Chris Rock and Will Smith were friends before this incident?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but nobody would have ever thought that
when
Will Smith
Chris made that comment about G.I. Jane 2, I thought that he was actually plugging a project that Jada was working on.
Right. Well, the joke itself.
That's how mild of a joke it was.
The joke itself had nothing to do with the incident.
No.
What I think the issue is, we just had. I made a video that crowned Will Smith the king of simps for 2022, and we're only in April.
Yeah,
and I don't think
it wasn't a joke. It was Jada's reaction to the joke that provoked him, as in a way. But come on, man.
Well, he saw it as an opportunity to redeem.
Yo, what I'm saying is, August Alsina, bro, was deep in her guts, bro, and he didn't do anything about it. Is what I'm saying, bro.
And he just made a song about him enjoying her too.
That's not a measure of how tough you are. Many rappers deep in her guts, and he would assault a joke. Come on, man.
Roger, when you got time, can you send Calvin the link to that particular video you're talking about on Will Smith? I'd like to check that out later.
I made a video, and I crowned Will Smith the king of simps for 2022. I mean, he's in good running with Tyrese now, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and crown him, because I've never seen such display of weakness in my whole life. And here's a guy that just totally took his whole life and destroyed it for some Jezebelian succubus demon that doesn't respect him as a man, doesn't value him as a man. And he was in such low masculine level that he would put his whole life. It's not like she was being under any type of threat. She is not being under any type of harm. He didn't have to do that. So he's willing to put this is the type of mental state that he's in, how he's lost all his masculinity, that he would put his whole career, future on the line to protect some woman that is about as worthless as boobs on a bull's butt. She's out here sleeping around. She's out here. She doesn't respect him. She doesn't respect herself. And you're going to it's not like you're defending some virtuous woman. You're defending something that's for the streets. And that's why I label him the king of simps. I made a video about it, and I stay firm with it. And anybody that tries to defend him, I'll tell that person, you need to go tell your wife or your girlfriend to take your balls out of the jar that it's in and man up. You can't defend that as a man. Get your balls out of the jar, stop being a weakling, and stand up to your girlfriend or your wife who's sending you out to defend that. And that is just toxicity, and that is ridiculousness. You can't defend that. That's horrible.
Jada is worse than any Filipino scammer. And that's exactly what she's done with Will. She has been scamming him. She's never been anything more than a B-rated actress. And she's living the life of Riley off of his earnings. Okay. Absolutely. He couldn't even pay. She hasn't made enough money to pay for the pool house, much less the house. Okay. So she's been scamming him.
Let me ask
you, Cal, I want to give a couple of shout outs, Cal.
Hold on. Let me
go ahead.
Answer this question. He says, I've been in Cagayan de Oro, and I came here with an open mind. A lot of resources I'm used to aren't here in the Philippines. And I knew it would be like this. I want to meet you, brother. Yeah. Now, what kind of resources? Remember, a lot of reasons we come here is because it's different. This isn't the West, but you can live in places. You can go to Manila, Cebu, Davao, and different places where you're going to have all those resources. But, I mean, what's the whole point of coming over here if you just want to live like you were living in America? That's the only way I look at it. But at least you're not.
Well, when people talk about resources, what resources are you talking about? Every time I go to the Philippines, it's never been a lack of me finding anything when I'm there.
Just probably some amenities that he's missing back home, and it's not readily available here, it's a given anyways. He's got to be able to adapt.
Well, he probably can't find any Aramis cologne.
Yeah, something like that. What I was gonna say was, Calvin, we got Jeff Strong, we got Brandon Bonner. These gentlemen are on their way over here in a couple of weeks. So I wish them a safe trip here, man. They've made up their mind. They're going to come over here and join us here, and we're going to have a good time.
Oh, yes, a lot. I'm going to tell you, the guys that's been coming over here, man, they really inspired me. re-energized me, Dana, because I see myself in them. I remember when I first came over here, and I see that look in their eyes. They've got it. But some of them have made the mistake of settling with one woman. Now they're unhappy because they see what else is available, and they're stuck, man, because the Filipina, she knows what a good man looks like. We don't know what a good woman looks like. So she's going to hold on to you as tight as she possibly can. She's not going to let go. So you have to be careful when you come over here getting into these relationships, man. I mean, we move these women in from the time they meet us at the airport. How crazy is that? That you would move a stranger into your house. You're going to go to sleep next to a stranger. You have no idea who this lady is. But I guess that's the thirst. That's what thirst will do for you, man.
Well, Calvin, you know what my philosophy was. You heard me say this time and time again. If you want to meet a young lady, have them meet you where you're staying. Don't make any promises or anything like that. But you're right. Guys got to have making promises. They got that thirst. Just the first woman they talk to, they get there, they get disappointed. Then they don't know how to exit properly.
Right.
That's right. There
How
you
do
go.
you exit properly, Fred, over here? That's a good question. How do you exit properly in the Philippines?
Well, the thing is, when you exit, you can sit there, you can talk to a young lady, but if she really got her mind set on you, you're not going to have a good outcome. I got to be honest with you sometimes. Sometimes you may just have to make some type of excuse, maybe have a go get something, and maybe you may have to bail. And I know what everybody says, oh, no, you're wrong what you're doing that, but you got to realize what you may be dealing with. You done made this girl all kind of promises. You done sit there, laid with her, and now you want to throw her to the wayside. And to me, you need to have some type of understanding when you get there, come exactly where you're coming from. I'm not looking, to get married to anybody. We can hang out, see how it works. If it don't work out, ain't no hard feelings,
And then it's a different culture. We bringing that old street stuff over here to a place where stuff like that is unacceptable, but we don't know. We're thinking, okay, I'm gonna just treat her the way I treat the women at home. But let me address this right here. He says, hey, brother Calvin in the panel, let's get real about the racism and prejudice that really exists in the Philippines. Dude, I'm living here. If that existed like you're saying it does, I wouldn't be here now for 1 second. Whoever told you that,
and he's never been.
Blogger just admitted it's true. Okay, but it's nothing compared to what racism is where I come from. Is there discrimination? Yeah, if you look on TV, most of the actors are white. They'll put it in their job applications, but it doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect me. I'm not looking for a job over here.
That guy's never been.
By the way, I'm treated as well here as I've ever been treated in my life. Yeah. I'm telling you.
That guy has never been to the Philippines, Calvin.
Evidently,
I don't believe so, yeah.
Because, and remember, her definition of racism is going to be totally different than what we experience. That's bullshit, and I'm calling bullshit on that. Look, guys, it's not true, okay? Now, if you try to get into the acting business over here, they're probably going to turn you down. But anything else, if you just want to be a man over here, they're going to look at your character first. It has nothing to do with prejudice.
Every time I hear that, I don't get angry. I just shake my head because I realize how misguided the person that's made that statement is. Because first and foremost, Filipinos are black. Okay? The original Filipino is black. Okay? So, and I don't care if you go in the provinces, I don't care if you're in the cities, okay? Just as you say, Calvin, you are judged on your character. You're judged more on your height than you are your color.
Absolutely. Go on my community page and look at we had to say goodbye to our housekeeper yesterday, and Oh, she cried because they need her back in the mountains. Now you tell me that's not a black woman. That's a black woman, man. They, they look for certain, because you got to realize they were colonized by the Spanish and by the Americans. Okay, anytime when the colonizer leaves, he's gonna leave some of his bullshit behind, and that's part of it. But you're right, man. Filipinos, man. You see me. Look, I'm dark now because I'm in the sun all the time. But there's Filipinos who are darker than me, and every single day I'll go somewhere and they'll be like, "Yeah, that's my brother talking about me." I think it's such a shallow. Only Americans are so fixated with race. The rest of the world's not like that, really. Not as fixated as Americans, man.
Well, Calvin, when we talk about that, I've been living in Guam since '92. I've never run across that the whole time I've been here. You can live whatever neighborhood you want to live in, as long as you can afford to live there, and nobody cares who you are. And you're right, that stuff only goes on in the States.
Yeah, the one thing about the Philippines that you're gonna like is they will accept you as their neighbor. I don't care who you are. The Filipino will accept you as their neighbor, man. You're genuinely welcomed here, no matter who you are. Now, if you overstep your boundaries or wear out your welcome with that foolishness that a lot of us put up, practice, they got something for you over here. But for the most part, they're not going to bother you at all. As a matter of fact, man, I tell you, man, you guys are crazy, man.
Yeah, most of the time, all the time, my experience, no matter where you go, they'd open the doors and sir and ma'am, and I've never had any issues here. You know what I'm saying? The workers do their job, and you say hello, they say hello back. There's never been any kind of friction here.
When I had my job, I had I had Filipinos working for me, and Calvin, you're right. They always use that sir. They would call me Sir Fred.
Yeah. That's their custom.
Yeah.
And I respectfully just tell them, no, that's not my name, man. I'm not, it's my name. I don't need to be called sir. So
no, it's just a thing. I don't say anything. I mean, it's just the way they greet you.
But like I said over here,
it's like they're giving a sign of respect.
But like I said over here, no matter if you're black, brown, white, purple, it's always a sir. They're very hospitable here. Yeah.
Dana, what have you guys ran into back there in the States? You guys run into situations, because every time I look at the news, it's crazy back there. Have you guys had any occasions where something racism was directed toward you guys?
Oh, listen, when I lived in Berkeley, California, the bastion of liberalism on the West Coast and probably for America, I had a client walk up to me and I asked him if I could help him. Okay. The guy looked at me and he says he didn't let any, using the N-word, help him. I was so stunned that I looked at that guy square in his baby blues and I said, well, you know what? I don't either.
Yeah. Now, Paul says the girls don't care about the color, but it's the parents, they would think twice to have you meet them unless you pass a lot of tests. That's not true either. Not in my case, man. I've been over here for 13 years. I'm running from racism, man. If I just got one inkling that type of shit was going on over here in the Philippines, man, you think I'd still be here?
No.
I'm not some kind of fool, man. I can go and live and adapt probably anywhere on this planet. It's just not true, man. It's not true, guys.
Yeah.
They're going to look at you for your character, number one. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you something. To be honest with you, man, Filipinos aren't stupid. This internet has opened up their eyes to a lot of things that they were not privy to years ago. See, they used to think all white people were rich. If you're white, if you're brown, stick around. If you're black, stay back. But it's not like that anymore because they've experienced it. I was with Nick. Okay, he's a Romanian. Now, you don't get any more white than that. And he came here to visit me. And he said he saw something in Dumageddon that turned his stomach. He said he saw a German over here really, belittling the waitress at the restaurant. He said it was so bad that he had to get up and say something to the German. Well, this is what the Filipinos are seeing too. And they've been seeing it, man. All this, but color don't mean nothing, y'all. Let's move on from that because that's bullshit. And any Filipino that said that, she don't know what she's talking about.
The reason I brought that up is, you can see the difference in the States, the way it is now. My sister's a former police detective. She retired from the Youngstown Police Department. She goes around, gives, different briefings about different things. And she used to tell me a lot of stories because, like I said, I left my hometown, when I was 19, to go in the military. So, of course, all that time, I'm trying around different places. I've never been stationed in the South per se, except for training. But most of my time have been, overseas. And nobody ever treated me bad, or they didn't care what color I was the whole time, that I've been living out here.
Well,
and that's why I said I'll never go back to States.
He's got an attitude now. He's saying that we're jumping on him. If he goes back and reads his comment, he'll say, hey, Cal, let's get real about the prejudice over there. He was making a statement. Now he's trying to throw the Filipino under the bus. I live here, man. I'm just telling you, I'm not going to argue about that.
Let's move on.
Really, I live here.
Let's move on.
That guy, I've never had one.
Well, I only have one question.
Let's move on. We don't need to deal with him.
It's moving on. It's moving on past that topic. And I always ask the question for people: if you believe certain thing is so, why are you here?
Yeah.
Why are you here? If I believe that there was this issue in the Philippines, I'm not even going to say it because we've moved on, I wouldn't be here. I would just say, you know what, forget about the Philippines and move on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be in the chat. I wouldn't make any comment about the topic. I would just draw my conclusions about the Philippines and I would just keep it moving. But why be here?
Yeah.
That's the fundamental question.
Because he needs his 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, I don't understand why that topic just stays around, man. I mean, it's really monkey science, guys. There's nothing. Whoever put that out there about color, first of all, we can send a man to the moon. We're in the age of information right now. We know that skin color has absolutely nothing to do with your intelligence, with your worth as a human being. But yet we still seem to love to talk about that topic, man. I really don't even address it for real, but I'm over here in the Philippines, and he says, hey, let's be real. Well, I'm being real. I don't deal with that, man.
Calvin, you're boots on the ground,
That's right, I'm boots on the ground over here. But then he changed it around and said, then he threw the Filipino under the bus. I don't care. She can say what she wants to say.
I see something kind of interesting there. What's that behind you? Are those model airplanes up there? I see, Texas.
Yeah, some are the 900 size helicopters, and planes. This is my hobby room right here, bro. So I've got everything here that man cave, if you will. I build stuff in here, and because I do fly the hobby every weekend. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you actually got the fly model.
You are
but I also fly full scale aircrafts here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I love airplanes. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I did bring most of this up over here from Texas because I wasn't aware how hard it would be to find here, and finding out it is kind of difficult to find here, even if you have a lot of money.
Oh wow.
It's not.
Okay.
It's almost not. The hobby shops are mainly focused where Manila is at, and these things are pretty. It gets you pretty up there, man. They're not cheap, and so when you crash them, it's a heartbreaker, bro. For real, yeah.
Yeah, you better know what you're doing.
Yeah. Last Sunday I had a mishap, and I crashed, and there goes like $800, man. Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me ask you something. They having problems with these drones. Well, hell, that thing is a whole lot bigger than a drone. Is it some type of regulations or something? How high you can fly that thing?
Okay, so Calvin, to answer that question, I'll clarify everything. The drones are now programmed to fly not over 400 feet. it's programmed in the computer. These are fly by sight, so you must be able to watch it to fly. So at that height, you can't even see it anyway, so you're risking crash anyway. So these are not in a risk of flying into the limited airspace. So because it's fly
Okay.
by sight, yeah.
In the
Yeah,
United
Believe it or
States,
not,
because I
yeah,
have a drone and I used to RC.
yeah,
And you used
I have a lot of those. And as far as drones, nowadays they pretty much fly themselves. For these, you really gotta fly them, and you
right.
really gotta watch it. Yeah,
But I was speaking in terms of the regulations. You have to go through I think it's the FCC
yeah.
in the States now.
Dana, let me interrupt you there. This is the Philippines, bro. None of that bullshit applies here, bro. They're
I know
closed.
that.
No, there ain't nothing. Nah,
Wait a minute.
that's what's
Wait
happening
a
in
minute.
America.
Wait a
You're
minute.
programmed to believe that. No,
No. You're jumping the horse,
no.
okay? I
Yeah.
was not. I know that there's no regulations in the Philippines. I've said back here in the United States, you are overly regulated, and you have to go
Yeah.
to the FCC.
Right.
Correct, because over there you have to register your drone with the FAA
Yeah.
and all that crap and
Exactly.
bullshit. Over here, no sir. Over
Yeah.
here, no, we
Okay,
have
I
it.
know that.
I love it here.
Let me
Okay.
answer this question. He says, because
Okay.
I wrote it down, T, believe it or not. He said, can you guys talk about traveling through the Philippines? How long does it take to get to other islands, and do you travel by boat or plane, and how would that cost? Well, just say, for instance, the other day I went from Negros Occidental to Cebu. Well, you
Mhm.
can't fly to there. I mean,
So
it's
by
real.
boat.
It takes an hour and a half. It cost me about $4 to do that. Okay,
Yeah.
now if you want to go from Bacolod to Cebu City, yeah, you can fly. It takes about 35 minutes. Probably going to cost you, depending on when you buy the ticket, the plane ticket.
Yep.
But you can travel plane, land, sea here. But
Yeah.
most of the people, a lot of these islands are close together, so they'll use the ferry.
Yeah.
Okay, but inter island, meaning on the same island, they usually just ride the bus.
Yeah. Bus or drive
Hey,
yourself. Yeah.
Calvin, since we're talking
Oh,
about since we're talking about transportation, I do want to let everybody know that recently, this year, as a matter of fact, I have had a lot of trouble with Cebu Pacific, the airline,
Yeah,
and they sent me this nice long email about they were sorry for my inconveniences and all that kind of stuff. However, 2 weeks ago, they just announced that they're revamping their communication systems. So now people can call in and get accurate information. Now they're not adding any more flights, but they're making it much more understandable and easier to get in contact with them. Because, for example, with Cebu Pacific, for example, I had a customer that wanted to fly from Manila to Masbate. Okay. Well, that flight only flies 2 days a week, and it has 2 flights those 2 days. But you can go if you went through, what's the name of it? If you went
Asia.
to, well, if you went from Manila to Cebu and then go over to Masbate, then you could go up to 4 days a week. But they're limited in where they fly inter-island wise, but they've had a lot of problems with their scheduling and being able to get into them. But they have rectified that problem. I'm going to try them tomorrow and see what the benefits are and if they've got it straightened out. But it looks like help is on the way for inter-island flying.
Paul S. says, has the cost of living gone up? I heard it's getting very expensive. Is it true? That's not true. I mean, yeah, if you shop in the grocery stores, yeah, inflation is high. Okay, eggs have gone up, peanut butter has gone up, chicken has gone up. But what I tell guys is if you really on a budget, you worrying about a food cost, I would shop at the local market. But the things that you're really going to be worried about, the rent is still the same. It's very low. The water, has the electric went up? Yeah, it has went up. But compared to what? Compared to America? Absolutely not. Okay, I just got I already paid my electric bill this month. It was $110. But hell, we run this air conditioned 24/7 because of Booby. That's $100, man. That's nothing.
You know, Calvin, about the transportation, I was kind of curious about something. Every time you, because, you know, me and Lynn were talking about coming up here and visiting you. So that means we would actually have to either take a boat out of Manila or we could fly into Cebu. But does San Carlos have an airport or you have to take a ferry to get over to where you're at?
Yeah, you need a ferry. Actually, you can fly from Manila to Bacolod and then catch a bus. That's probably the fastest way.
Yeah.
You can fly into Cebu, but then you have to ride the bus to Toledo and then catch the ferry over. That's another 3 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Because actually it's less than that from Bacolod to San Carlos if you go ahead and rent a van or rent a taxi.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I actually got my own vehicle there, and we were looking at maybe just using the ferry to ferry it over if I want to stay up there for a while, and then I probably could drive from where I'm at to instead of taking the bus. If the ferry takes vehicles there, I could drive up to where you're at.
T. Wallace said, is there a website where I can put that information up? Well, you'd have to go to every last carrier. Fast Cat, you got Ocean Jet, you got Light Ferry, you got To Go. That's in the ferries and the ships. Then you got Series Bus Liner. I don't even know if Series has a website. Then you got Cebu Pacific, PAL Airlines, and Air Asia. But it's really simple, man. It's not. Don't overthink this place. This place is simple.
Yeah, it actually moves around pretty good. Those supercats are like airplanes on the water, man. The seats are similar and it's smooth. It's not like you're not bouncing up and down the ocean. It's smooth. What I was gonna ask, where is your location here, Fred?
Where am I at?
Yeah, in the Philippines. Where is your location at?
Oh, I'm up. I'm north of Angeles City. You know, going further north. I don't live in Angeles itself. I stay about 45 minutes away. You know, if
you were to ferry somewhere in that area to Cebu and then drive there to Calvin, that's a hell of a ride on a ship.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Well, the closest place to us, if I was to fly in, it would be Clark. You know, Clark Airport.
Yeah, because you had mentioned you were going to drive your car here.
No, I'm just curious. That's why I was asking because I don't know about the area. Would it be best just we just come over and, you know, I'm not sure if I'm on a long bus ride. I might enjoy that ferry a little bit more and give me one of those nice rooms. Yeah. Calvin, I saw that you stayed in on the ferry, you know, for those 3 hours or 4 hours.
Yeah, but they don't offer that, Fred. They only offer that on those long-term flights. I mean, long-term trips.
Oh, okay.
From Cebu to here is only an hour and a half. You're going to be up there on one of them bunks like everybody else, Fred.
Oh, forget that.
Hey, Calvin, wait a minute, Calvin. Make sure you're being clear on that. We're not talking about Cebu City. We're talking about the island of Cebu.
Yeah, Toledo, Cebu.
Yeah.
Because he's going to fly into Cebu. Well, he's going to fly into Mactan.
Lapu-Lapu.
Yeah, catch a taxi over to the Cebu City where you can catch a van. Or rent the taxi and tell them to take you to Toledo or a bus.
Yeah.
But thank you, Party Music DJ Aki, for the super chat. He said family. But let me ask Roger something. You said that most men are escaping because they want peace. Give me your situation a little bit without, getting too personal. What type of situation are you coming from or coming out of?
Well, for me, I've been married before. Obviously, I filed for divorce in this country years ago. I got divorced like in 2015, um, and I have two boys. They're both adults now. I have a 21-year-old son, and I have a 27-year-old. They're both grown men now. So what I found mostly, and it's not really a masculine thing, it's not really an accountability thing, it's not really, you can be in relationship with many of these modern women in America. You can. The issue becomes, it's about, are you going to be in a situation where you're living peacefully? Because here's the deal, it's not just them, it's the culture. I bless you, brother. It's the culture that you're dealing with. It is a coalition of them, their mothers, their grandmothers, social media, that's reinforcing them with these negative things that they bring to the table every day.
Yep.
And that's the biggest problem you have in America, is that um, you may have a situation with some of these modern women, I call them modern women, where you're in a relationship with them and you have to basically subjugate yourself to take lesser standards, like what we would expect in traditional relationships, where people look out for each other, where you bring to the table your provision, protection, security, and that woman responds by bringing femininity, by being inspirational, by being supportive of you as a man. And just the term being submissive or being led is considered more so abusive in the culture, but you're held to a certain standard in that relationship. So what happens is, you don't really have a situation of fair exchange in relationships. You have a situation where men are expected to do so many different things, and you're not really getting that reciprocated in terms of the respect and honor that men used to have in relationships. So that's really where the imbalance comes. And if men, what happens is, it becomes a situation where you're basically debating, arguing about things that men in other parts of the world get from their provision, protection, security, problem solving that they bring to the table as men. So, yeah, you could be in this relationship, but you're going to get a whole lot less in terms of what's reciprocated to you in terms of being a man, because all those traditional things, we're still held to the same standard of, you're going to have to be a provider, protector, but they have the option of not being those things, because they've been told for so many years, getting up and cooking dinner for a man is abusive. You're this, they have this thing what I call it the color purpling of America, where they're seeing where anything that's um, subjecting, anything that's being led by a man is considered abusive. So that's what you deal with in the culture. And what you have this issue with radical feminism, whereas with the modern woman, they will not allow you, or they will not accept your leadership without challenges. So yes, you're expected to do all these things. Yes, you're expected to put your life on the line for your family. But the moment you try and lead your household, it's considered a negative thing now in the culture. It's considered being controlling. But you are, when that sound goes bang in the middle of the night, you better be the man and step up and do something. When that Titanic is sinking, you better put women and children first. You see, it's almost like taxation without representation in many ways, because you're not getting the same value that you used to get before from relationships. So many times you have guys that end up with having these debates with women, arguing with women, and inevitably that's going to wear you down, because there's not really any defined roles anymore in relationships.
Hey,
Yeah.
Calvin.
Let me ask a couple of these questions I wrote down. He asked me what's the exchange rate. It's 52.31. It's staying steady above 52. Anytime it's above 50, you win it. W Success T Blog says, what's the best time to come to the Philippines? Anytime, man. There's really no best time to come. I was asked, is San Carlos City the only place I've ever lived over here? No. I lived in Cebu first for 2 years. I lived on and off in Zamboanga, but over 10 years. I lived in Zamboanga, which is right outside Dumaguete, for a while. Now I'm in San Carlos. I've lived about 4 places. The name of Roger's channel is Ingram Experience. That's INGRAHAM. Did I spell that right, Roger?
Yes, it's the Ingram Experience. Yes.
Ingram Experience. He said, man, I want to check out your channel. He said, you're on the par with Kevin Samuels.
No, but I think what it is too is that what a lot of men don't understand is when you're in a relationship with in the West, you're in a threesome. It's you, that woman, and the government. That's really what it comes to. And the government is on her side, and she knows it. And then you have a coalition of family members. It's not just her; it's what's behind her. It's that mother or that grandma who's told her that you should never allow yourself to be led by a man. It's the people on social media that tells you, hey, how dare you? What are you, came home from work today and you cooked that man a meal? You know, you're being mistreated and you're being abused. That leads to mutiny. That leads to, all kinds of disturb. So you're in a relationship with so many different people in the West. See, the difference between that and traditional women in other cultures is that they have to value their men because they don't have all this government empowerment, welfare state support system. That man, as that man goes that family. So they have to treat that man well, because if they don't treat that man well, there's no big daddy government to save them. And that's most of the problems in the West, is that the women are so government empowered. So all these guys who talk about this stuff about men leaving and going other places as being weak or whatever. Yeah, you think you're better than big daddy government. I've worked 21 years in law enforcement. We have no problem dragging people out of houses and doing things. You think that woman calls 911. So the reality of life is that even if you got into a relationship, she knows that you got to get into a very virtuous, traditional woman to garner that respect. And what happens all the time is she's been influenced by so many factors that aims to destabilize your life or your relationship. Over there where you're at, the culture, it's a cultural thing, does not support the mutiny or emasculating men that are working hard to take care and provide for their family. Even if you do that in this country, there's so many other factors working against you. And you don't want to be in a situation where you're constantly trying to reinforce any type of leadership, having debates, having arguments to get some type of respect. In a sense, that'll wear you out. You end up getting a heart attack and dying early if you're going to be arguing with women all your life. And I think that's why men are like, forget all this. I'm not doing all this argument and fighting. I'm going to find you somewhere nice and peaceful. And
I'm coming to the Philippines because I don't want to be equally yoked.
So Roger, is that the reason why you're moving to the Philippines? Because of everything you just said?
Now what I'm doing is just looking at different options outside of the U.S., different cultural options, women of different cultures. Because I think once women become indoctrinated into this culture, but it's not just being indoctrinated into this culture. You see, it's not just what they're indoctrinated in, is that reinforced with government empowerment. You see, in the Philippines, women can think whatever they want to think, but the government does not support it with its laws and its legislations and whatever else. It's just somebody blowing hot air. You may have a small fraction of the population that may have bought into Western feminism, but that's not supported by anything that's legislative or with the government. It's the legislative support that gives it the power. The law gives it the power. People's rhetoric is meaningless without legislation and without laws. And I think that's what you have in the West. And I think even what you see in the workplace, where guys are walking on eggshells, afraid of offending somebody going to human resources or saying the wrong thing, because any woman can Me Too the hell out of you over here and even if the allegations are not true, you're guilty until proven innocent. You're going to be going down to EOC or whatever else. So it's a whole different dynamic here than it is in the Philippines. Regardless if even a little bit of that feminism creeps in there, there's still not government support for that.
Right. Hey, thanks to Rick Campbell for the super chat. He says, is feminism making its way to the Philippines? Absolutely not. The culture is so thick here. This is one of the last bastions on earth where a man can be a man. You know, being feminine is still the end thing. It's, you know, women are ashamed of being women. Being submissive is seen as not a weakness, but actually a strength. Paul asked, he says, is it wise for him to buy a house in a Filipino's name, or should he just buy a condominium and share it with the both of them? And then he follows it up and says, we want to buy a mansion house, probably 30 million. Are you serious, man? So the reason I asked that about landlord my wife. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna take a line out of John's book. He says you probably want to be worth more alive than dead.
Yeah.
I wouldn't come over here and spend 30 million pesos on nothing, but yourself. I mean, that's a lot of money. You want to buy a mansion for 30 million pesos.
Calvin, Calvin, I look at a lot of this stuff.
What sense does it make to spend $30 million on a mansion and you can't own the land that it's on?
Right.
Please.
Right. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it don't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, that's a lot of money, man. I don't even know if Marcos even owns something for 30 million. 30 million? Come on, man. You're joking.
I think we looked at that. I think that was pesos he had at the end.
Yeah,
but it's still a lot of money, though. Yeah, still a lot of money.
Pesos?
30
money.
30 million.
Yeah,
30 million pesos is $600,000, bro.
See, here's the thing that gets me. Okay, you guys is living there, living pretty good. You know, did you guys spend 30 million pesos to get the places that you got? You know, and like what Texas said, depends on where you live at in the Philippines. We're going to pay accordingly. But a lot of guys like to get there and you want to bring your Western way of life with you. So you have all this other stuff in the house. I got a house that's there. My house is comfortable. You know, for me, I didn't buy that house for somebody else's comfort to enjoy it. I bought it when I'm there. I can sit back and relax. You know, and since I don't go there a lot, I know somebody takes care of it for us. A brother does and everything else. But it's a comfortable house. I got 3 bedrooms. Not a super big house. I don't need nothing. We don't need a lot of room. Okay, we don't.
Any more than that, all you're doing is making your stress level go up.
Yeah.
And why in the hell did you go to the Philippines if you just wanted to make your stress level?
Well, see, that's the point I don't understand. You guys work their whole life, and the first thing you want to do is go to the Philippines and spend 30 million pesos on something. That don't make any sense. Okay.
Tall Tree, thanks for that super chat. He said nothing like fighting all day to make a living and then coming home to a fight. That's a perfect analogy. One of my friends, Gerald Muhammad, he had an analogy. It's like when you're out in the world, you're in the boxing ring fighting. He said, then the bell rings and you go back to your corner. You're supposed to get to your corner and fight them too. Right?
Yeah, you're supposed to get a stool and some water and then wipe your face, but you're gonna fight them too. Shit.
But get a little relief.
You're gonna get the stool upside your head.
But you know what's so funny over here? That fight can be expired by something that's totally unrelated to anything going on in your household. It could be that woman watched an episode of Housewives and she saw that women on Housewives were getting something that she wasn't getting, and she wanted to have a debate with you. And you just came home from a 12-hour shift, and she's like, hey, why don't we do this? Or she's seeing something on social media, on Facebook, or her family told her that she's been deprived of something, and she wants to have a discussion with you. and you're like, what? Could be the Jones.
Her female co-worker who is envious of what she's got.
Right. Yeah.
She's gonna be in her ear too.
That's
So
usually
so
the
many
case.
attacks in America. You're getting, as a man over here, you're getting attacked 360 degrees mentally.
Every direction, man.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
why, like,
listen
guys,
to this.
You gotta get the hell up out of there. It don't matter where, just get the hell up out of there, bro.
I tell you what, man, I had a point in my life where I would watch shows like Life Below Zero, The Bonies, Man Living Out in the Wild shows, and I would watch that every day because to me it's like, man, I need to go live in the bushes somewhere just to live in peace, because that's what you really want. You want to just be in peace as a man, and
Just
that's
turn the
what people
TV
do.
on.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But
But it's nothing like
here's
watching the
what he
show of
said.
Man Living in the Bushes.
Here's what he says. Sunshine, I'm going to send my wife $50,000 a hole for me until I come to the Philippines to visit her.
Good luck.
Oh,
She
man.
won't be here.
Come
She
on,
won't
man.
be here when you get here.
Either that, or everybody's going to borrow money
Come on.
when they know
Calvin,
you have money, and they'll never pay you back.
Calvin, can you let us know how to get in contact with him? Because I'm sure there is a bounty out on him. Okay, he's escaped some institution, and they're looking for him.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
All
says
that foolishness, bro.
he was talking about
Kelvin, I'm asking you a
30
question. Do guys have a problem with breaking the rules of common sense, that they wouldn't do these things here in America and all of a sudden they go somewhere else and they start getting willy-nilly and just doing reckless things? Like the rules of scammery changes because you jump on a plane and go somewhere else. You get scammed anywhere. If you're going to put yourself out there, you're going to get scammed anywhere you go. It has nothing to do with.
Yeah, ask Will Smith.
Yeah. Everywhere you go, if you play that type of game, you're just out here to be slaughtered. You're gonna get ate up.
It's not even worth answering that stupidity, bro. I mean, come on, man. Like, why can't you just come here and then wire your ass some money if it need be? I don't understand. Come on, man. Like, I don't understand, bro.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. But Chucky Tronic says about the 30 million. That's only 573,000. Yeah.
Hey, he's on the wrong channel.
I know it.
He's on the wrong channel.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Golly.
But I ask that question all the time, Roger. I say, why would you throw your common sense out the window on your way over here? You're gonna need it. But that's what we do because a lot of us are thirsty, guys. But see, we won't be honest with ourselves.
Right.
You ask the question, well, why are you coming to the Philippines? They're not gonna say because I'm thirsty. They're gonna say I'm looking for a new life. Well, if you're looking for a new life, why is it the first place you go is to the hotel with the girl? Or move her in, Why is that the first thing you do?
Calvin, I want to ask you something. Since you're a blogger, some of you guys are. The latest thing that happened in Angeles City, because they got the walking street. In order to blog,
you can't video on Walking Street anymore.
You got to have a permit.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You got to have a permit to video on Walking Street in Angeles City because some of these simps got scared that the videos will get online and their wives and girlfriends will see it. Okay. So they complain to the bar. Oh, listen. So they complain to the bar owners. And so the bar owners were like, oh, well, these guys are spending so much money with us. We need to probably do something to help protect their identity.
Yeah,
but the thing is, it's a public street.
I say
It's gonna be a big conduit.
They are Walking Street.
Have shared title.
It's a public street.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you go there, you know what's going on. I'm saying you got a choice. It's not really. I mean, it's not like walking down my street.
No, it's not.
No, I know that. I know that. Okay.
Paul S. says, so it sounds like I should get a big condo at 10 million. This his money away. Look, let me tell you something, Paul. If you came over and spent 500,000 on a house, 500,000 pesos on a house, she'd be impressed, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, he says
Not quite sure
weather
what Paul is
conditions.
compensating for.
He says, let me rephrase the
Like a
question.
zip
What is
bag.
the weather conditions in the months of October and November? This is part of the rainy season. You
Yeah.
remember, though, the Philippines is spread out. There is no one Philippines. The weather's not the same everywhere, guys. Where I am, it's just going to be the rainy season it'll rain for 30 minutes, and then the sun's going to beat your ass for another 23 hours and 30 minutes. Okay? Now, if you up there by Biko, or if you over in Samar or Lady, that might mean typhoon season.
Yep.
Okay?
Flooding.
But it just depends, W Secrets to Success vlog, where you are in the Philippines, man. The the typhoon Odette was the first typhoon that it struck this area in 25 years. So,
Yeah.
Well,
Now here in Dagba, we've had minor earthquakes with a couple of casualties, but nothing compared to those typhoons there. And we've never been hit with a typhoon over here. So
Hey, Calvin, let me put this in perspective, okay? All of the Philippine islands would fit in the boundaries of the state of California.
right.
That's how big it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So they can get three distinct, there could be a high pressure area up north. There could be a typhoon ripping through the center. And then there's down in Davao and General Santos, there could be a high pressure area that's steering that typhoon through. So you could have distinctively three different types of weather in the same day.
Correct.
Well,
But
what's kind of interesting,
but-
because I'm here on Guam, and they call this Typhoon Alley, and we do get earth tremors, and all that. So anything that misses us, like we always get the bad weather, the rain. So usually once it leaves this area, a lot of times it may turn into a typhoon, and it heads right to the Philippines. That's where it goes when it bypassed us, and always hits somewhere up around Mindanao.
But let me add this one thing to all the listeners that are on tonight. I don't care where you live, you're going to have to deal with some kind of natural disaster or phenomenon. So don't use that as an excuse about, well, I'm not going there because they have typhoons. Well, you know what? You may be in St. Louis, Missouri, in the middle of the United States, and you're going to have to deal with flash flooding when the climate changes and all that snow off the Rockies melts down into the rivers. And the next thing you know, you walk around in St. Louis in 7 feet of water. So don't use please don't go ahead.
Here's the problem that most of us have who've never been here before. We don't realize that when you hear the Philippines, people think it's just one place, like it's Manila. They don't realize how vast and diverse this place is. Because they're asked about, well, where can I? They think that all Filipinos look the same. They don't speak the same language. Man, the weather's not the same. The conditions aren't the same everywhere. I mean, it's diverse here. It's as diverse in the Philippines as it is in America.
You have over 7,000 islands and over 168 different languages here, bro. Yep.
Yeah. Only 2,000 are inhabited. 5,000 of those islands aren't even on the map. They're not even on the map.
One of the funniest things
we got to get out of this mindset of one Philippines. The Philippines came together under that flag to fight the Spanish. Prior to that, all of these little islands were basically countries within themselves.
Yeah,
over 7,000. Yeah.
One of the funniest things I've heard lately was somebody ask you, Calvin, where are the dark people in the Philippines?
All over the damn. But that's what we got to get away from, guys. It's not one Philippines, man. This place is diverse, man. And I had to. I've been to Tagaytay. I've been to Tagaytay.
Yeah,
that's a good place to visit.
For some people, a smaller town is good for them. The part of the reason why I chose where I wanted to be at is international airport here. Very good hospitals here if you needed to be. I've got a child. uh, very good schools over here. You know, when my child goes to school, and then very very wide, long open roads here with winding roads from a motorcycle. I'll ride a motorcycle too when I'm not driving a car.
And
Are
So
it's
you
safe.
allowed to
yeah,
be a
And
man
it's
here?
safe.
Are you allowed to be a man here, Texas?
you're damn right. Yeah, you know,
You
yeah,
asked the
damn
wrong
right.
guy, man.
Yeah,
Hey, hey, hey,
you know,
Calvin, one of your viewers asked, could they live off $2,000 a month on their Social Security?
oh hell yeah,
No, absolutely. In the
yeah,
Philippines, well, you can't
and
do. He
more.
said he's out in California.
Yeah.
You can't do that in California, but you can
No.
certainly do it here.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Let me answer this real quick. He said they're becoming more and more known for scamming. Young men are scared to invest their time in a scamming culture, and the youth is the future. Yeah, but you have to understand, Filipinos aren't scamming us. When you give a woman money and then she doesn't show up at the airport, she lied. She didn't scam you. You voluntarily gave her your money. A
That's correct.
scam, guys, is something that's uh, sophisticated. Women aren't
Yeah.
running those sophisticated scams on you where you stick your ATM card in
Yeah.
the machine and then they skim it and you get home, all your money's gone. No,
Yeah.
she's asking you for money.
That-
You're sending it to her for
yeah.
some purpose of putting her on reserve, putting her
Yeah.
in layaway or something.
Hey,
And then because she don't show up, you
Yeah.
call her a scammer. No, I'm sorry, that's not scamming.
to reiterate that, I don't even, that's not even a crime in my book. Obviously, there's 10,000 miles of ocean in between them two. She didn't put a gun to his head and send all that money over here. That's not a
Exactly.
robbery. He got,
Hey, that's not a.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a.
But
You
what-
can't
what
scam
they
a sucker.
yeah,
You
What
can't.
they
You
do,
can't
remember-
scam a sucker.
yeah. So all that foolishness and about scamming this, scamming that, you can't blame an opportunist, man, if you give him a chance.
You
know
can't
what I'm saying?
scam a sucker.
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, here's
You know, you guys. I've been watching some of these channels and going over some of these so-called scams, and I've listened to the guys'
Ain't
stories.
no scam.
This got to be the most thirstiest, dumbest people on the planet. And
Yeah.
what I like to say to somebody is this: if you put your hand on a hot stove and anywhere in the world, it's going to burn you. If you stand under a coconut tree loaded with coconut anywhere in the world that has coconut trees, you're playing with a chance of getting hit in the head with a coconut. And when I listen to some of the stories of these scams, and I listened to the low level, low frequency scams that I hear, you've got to be so blinded by your thirst that you've got to be an absolute idiot to fall for those scams. I mean, in America has some of the best scams in the world, especially in that Florida area. It has some of the best scammers. And even in law enforcement, I've dealt with so many different people with the scams that they're running. No place has more scams than America. What you have is people that are blinded by thirst and desperation, and they're willing to do anything, and they're not even thinking logically.
To simplify the whole thing, Roger, we're supposed to come from a Western mindset and everything, and we're supposed to be more advanced and all that stuff. Here you have a Filipina and stuff sending mere pictures and this, foolishness, sending money over here at no cost, man. That's crazy as hell to even comprehend the situation, okay? A picture, and they're sending thousands of dollars for them dumbass pictures. And sometimes there was a guy in Manila, it was a dude using some chick's pictures to get these dudes and everything.
Yeah.
And somehow they believe the story. That's crazy, man.
What I'm saying too, like that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, I've never been to the Philippines, right?
That's retarded, man.
So the first thing I did was have a sit down and talk with Calvin, because I've watched his channel. I respect his content. I haven't talked to one Filipino woman. Never. I wouldn't talk to them online. I wouldn't talk to them. I don't know them. So what I will do, without making any type of decision, I'll go and I'll visit. I'm connecting with Calvin. I will sit there and observe. I'm not going to meet any women at the airport. I'm not going to be talking to women. I will sit there and I will learn what's going on in the environment before I make any decisions. What you have is guys that are sending women money that they have never met before, that are conversating with women that they have not even You can get played like that here in America. That's why they have a whole show called Catfish in America. They have a show dedicated to scams, and there are people that are being like, people act like if you just because you leave America, your common sense just drops and leave behind. So that's the
But
problem I have.
like I said, Roger, the level of stupidity,
Right.
it can't even be measured, man, to fall for these, crazy stories, bro. Just to believe in something that's merely a picture and a story. Who's the dumbest of the two? Is what I'm saying.
Well, wait a
bro.
minute.
That's crazy, dude.
Okay, listen. The epitome of stupid was what we just had as a president previous. Okay, that's the level of stupidity that we have in this country. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going into
here's
politics.
the thing,
I'm just
though.
using that as an example of how people don't use common sense. Roger, you will be very successful. You're going to be very happy coming to the Philippines because you got a good level head on your shoulders, okay? And you make rational decisions. So
Correct.
you're going to do well. You're going to do well.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you very much, man. Because I'm looking at some of these scams, and I'm like, that's a scam? That's about the dumbest thing.
Ain't
Who
no
would
scam
fall for
over
that?
here,
Here's the thing, though. Here's
Who
the
would fall
thing.
for that? That's
Ain't no scam.
They do it, Roger, for the same reason you get people falling for these Ponzi schemes. They're being promised these large returns for their money, 20, 25%. So then the man, he sees this yummy young Filipino on the screen. He said, hell, I'm getting a bigger return for my money than these fat slobs over here in America. So I'm investing in the Filipino. And she turns out to be a Ponzi scheme.
Well, that's the thing about it right there.
Let me tell you, the epitome of the American scam is Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yep.
He went there, bro. He went there with the shelf at the door knocking. You got 25 million, and ain't nothing going out.
Well,
I'm still waiting for my
that's what I'm
25
trying to
million.
figure out. Like,
You got a better chance of being struck by lightning than to win that thing.
And people fall for that shit.
Yeah.
If it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah.
But that's what you see. People are still falling for Ponzi scams right now while we're speaking.
right.
Of all the Ponzi schemes, do you think I'm going to invest my money with some unscrupulous nut after everything that's happened? But people still do it. This is human nature, greed and trying to get more than what they bargained for. And I'm like, come on, man, I wouldn't fall for it, but you get people doing that every day.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. Like, I wish some woman in the Philippines would tell me to send her money on some online dating. I was like, you think what is wrong with you? You get bump your head or something? I don't know you. You must be nuts.
And
you
that's
guys
what I'm
could be
saying,
extremely
man.
thirsty
And I
to be
say
sending
this all the
some woman
time.
you never met.
If they come over here, I'll pick you up at the airport and show you around.
Right.
Take you where you need to go. See what's going on. Open your eyes, bro. Smell, feel, see everything. All that stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Hey, Calvin.
The scam is they're not really scamming you. They're playing on your sympathy. See, they know that Westerners, especially Americans, man, we're sympathetic. Look, listen, I'm going to remind y'all one more time. I'm not going to say this anymore. We raised $13 million for George Floyd's family. Come on, man. That's a lot of money, man. But that's how Americans are. So the woman over here, she plays on that sympathy. But when you think about it, why are we sending money over here to these people? You won't even give your brother $20. You won't even loan him $20. You'll see the damn lady, $200. Then you try to justify it. Oh, that's not all that much. But your mother's over here needs a pack of cigarettes and a 6-pack of Sterling beer, and you won't buy it.
Listen, give your brother the $200, and then you don't have to worry about him again because you'll never see him again.
Yeah, but I'm saying, think about it, guys. What we're doing, you can't buy these women, man. That's what we're trying to do. We're literally trying to buy them because we think, they're they're in poverty. We don't think that they have dignity. They're human beings. That's our entitlement. That's our arrogance, man. That's what that is, Roger. That's the reason we do it. We're arrogant. How am I going to buy her? I'm going to just keep on sending her. I mean, you know, you got to realize, man, I had a subscriber that sent a woman over 3 million pesos and never saw her before.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, what about the guy that came over there and married one in a week?
Yeah, well, hell, that happens all the time. I just had a guy. I said, he was showing me pictures of his wedding. It was a brother too. He said, and I'm like, is this your first time over here? Yeah. But we'll say, but I've been chatting with her, Roger, for 2 years. What the hell does that mean? We putting credibility into chatting. You know, justified.
Well,
We've been chatting for 2.5 years. I'm like, why did you marry her, man? What makes us, what goes into our minds that makes us think we're obligated to marry women over here?
He was a virgin.
Dude.
He was a virgin.
I don't know.
She gave him a tune-up and an oil change, and he was done.
That's what it is. That's what it is. We're so deprived over there, you know, and anything looks better than this. We see this damn thing and we run, you know. You look at it, you look better than this. That's what you said, Fred. Let me see. This or this. And they go for the lady. Because, man, they tired of this.
Well, Calvin, what I understand too is like, if that's all it is, man, I can save dudes a lot of money. The flight to the Philippines and all that stuff, man, just pay me a commission and I'll send them to your house. Whatever you want, baby, I'll send it to your house. Just give me a commission.
That's Danny.
Calvin. Calvin.
What's up, guys? Welcome,
Calvin.
To the panel. This is Danny. I've never met Danny, but I consider him my friend. He's got a good channel, by the way. He's funny as hell.
Hey, Danny.
This
What's
guy,
up, guys?
he came over one time, Roger, and he was here for 3 weeks, and he made 2 years worth of content. How did you do that, by the way?
I just kept the camera rolling, Calvin. Everywhere I went, I just kept filming everything.
That's a lot of gigs. Yeah, that's a lot of gigs,
Yes,
Danny.
sir.
Now, Danny heavily invests here, but he's been here, people. That's what I'm saying. He's been here. He found what he likes, and he's gonna settle here. So there you are.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see you in Davao.
Danny built the house here, didn't you, Danny?
Yes, sir. Down on
How big is it?
Is it finished?
yeah, it's done.
How was the party?
Huh?
How was the party?
How was the party?
Yeah.
The open house.
Well, I haven't been there yet.
I thought you aren't you the guy that has the house on the beach that was getting ready for a party for his father-in-law?
Oh, no.
No.
Okay.
No,
My apologies.
No, Irene and I, we built this house back in 2020, you know, during the height of the pandemic. And yeah, I haven't seen it yet in person because I haven't been able to make it over there.
Right.
But in 29 days.
Let me ask you something, Danny, because we've all done it. What makes us send money over here to women? Why do we do that?
Craziness.
I mean, what goes through your mind? Do you feel sorry for them? And is that part of it, or?
You know, I just it was just my plan, you know, to retire over there. And you know, one of the things I wanted to do, you know, that her and I wanted to do was, you know, to have a house over there.
No, I don't mean the house. I think that was a great thing you did there. I'm saying, why do men? Because I'm sure you sent Irene money before you ever saw her, just like we all probably have. Why do we do that?
Well, I didn't send her money until I actually met her.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, hell, you
Smart.
did pretty good then.
yeah, her and I met on a dating website called International Cupid, and 3 months after meeting her, that's when I flew out there and met her in person. But she
There you
never,
go.
she never asked me for money or anything like that in advance.
Yeah, well,
And,
you know the Filipinos never gonna ask you for money, though.
right. And I never sent her any money.
I want everybody that's looking at this panel to hear me loud and clear. Filipinos will never ask you for money because there's an unspoken agreement, guys. Don't
Yep.
make them think like, oh, I got me a gym. She never asked me for anything because she knows you're gonna pay for everything anyway. That's your part of the agreement.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That's your part of the agreement. Her part is something else, and we all know what it is. But, Mo says, "Are you sure that house exists?" Yeah, it exists.
Yeah, it's there.
I mean,
I've seen
it
the
is what
videos.
it is.
Danny, what island is it on?
What's that?
What island is the house on?
Mindanao.
Yeah.
Same island as Texas de Soy.
Okay, are you
Yeah,
near
it's not that
Davao?
far from Texas.
Are you near Davao?
It's several hours south of Davao. You know where Dago City is?
Yeah.
No.
It's about an hour and a half
it's-
south of me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's a few minutes west of Dagos.
Okay.
There's a little community called Matano, which is right next to it.
Okay.
And we'll be living in the province area there, outside of Matano.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a nice house. I've seen it. Seen it. Let's answer this question. He says numbers like 5s and 7s have been thrown around when describing dating a type of Filipino. Can the panel give an opinion of what constitutes a high rating in Filipino beauty relationship material? Well, everybody, men, we go by what we see. Okay, but after being over here for a long time, man, one of the things that really stands out with the Filipino for me is she's cooperative, man. Filipinos are cooperative. That's one thing you won't high on your list because just like Roger said, why would you want to be arguing all the time? I'm not begging anybody for anything over here. Okay. Can you trust her? Can you trust the lady? If you're going to go to sleep by somebody, you're going to close your eyes laying down next to somebody. Trust has to be way up there. Because looks is nothing. Really, as you get my age, and that's a given over here. Most of the women you see are going to be attractive in some kind of way.
Yeah.
But, you got to get a little deeper than that, man. When you get over
my long distance conversation is with a woman who is, one, has strong moral values. 2, we can talk. Okay.
Yeah.
She's not. My relationship with her is going to be based on the fact that we can communicate about a lot of different things because she's educated. Okay. Because when it comes to the looks, time and gravity is ultimately going to change the playing field.
Yeah.
Right.
So
whenever they say when you pick a woman, look at her mother. My mother-in-law is bad, bro.
There you go.
Bad.
There you go. That's right. If you want to look, you want to know what she's going to look like in 20 years, look at the mother.
My wife, our baby sleeps or plays until about 1 a.m, man. So they're still asleep with the baby. But bro, that's my wife, bro.
There you go.
Look at that.
Yeah.
We got about a 22-year age gap.
Like I said, looks are given though.
Yeah, but that's a baddie, bro.
There would be more to
but she
it
got
than
good
that.
up here too. They're good up here.
I mean,
Yeah.
she gonna run off with all your money or something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I'm not rich, so I ain't even got to worry about that.
Listen,
So
listen.
there you go.
We
Well, they
all
all
we
actually assume you're
all
rich.
going to have these age gap relationships. Okay, sooner or
Yeah,
later,
yeah.
you're going to be depending on her to make decisions for you. Okay,
Yep.
she better have something up here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, you guys know
Hold on.
my situation is different. Though I have met my wife because I was actually in the military. I was stationed in the Philippines, so
Yeah.
I got to know. We dated for 2 years. I got to know her, the family very well before we got married. So we've been married
Yeah.
over 33 years now. I'm still
Yeah.
happy.
That's
You know?
very good right there, Fred. That's
amazing.
you know, that's a rarity nowadays. Yeah.
Hey, Fred, she
Yeah.
took you in
Yeah.
spite of you being in the military, huh?
Okay, let me flip this conversation. Let me flip this conversation upside down. Why do you think your wife chose you, Fred? I'm gonna ask all of y'all the same thing.
Good.
Well, I thought I was choosing her. If you probably knew all the time, I was going to be the guy she's going to marry because Kelvin, she gave me a hard time. She did. You know,
Yeah,
I was,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
So,
Why do you think she chose you, though?
well, I
What
think
is
she
it
chose
about
me.
you? What is it
Well,
about you?
well, what it is the way I treated her, you know, with respect and everything else. Always treat her like a lady. You know, I never took advantage of her or anything like that. Uh, you know, didn't play games with her. The biggest issue we had was her father didn't like me, not because anything to do with color, because I was American and he worked on the Air Force base. So he saw how the military, you know, would treat the girls and all that stuff. Of course, he didn't want the same thing to happen to his daughter, you know. So I think she treated me because of the way I treated her, you know, with respect. I was always respectful and everything else. And, you know, and I would say that's it. Personality.
Yeah.
What
is
about
looking
you,
at.
Texas? Be
I'll
honest, Texas. I'm saying,
go.
okay, because
I'll go next, bro.
go. Why
You
did
know,
you?
the thing about it is, you know, as far as her choosing me, at first, I had this. She had this idea that I was gonna be one of them abusive dudes, man. I'm just gonna beat that ass, and I'm covered in ink and stuff, and I'm a bad person and everything. But you know, like I said, being a good human being over here does carry you a long ways. But at the same time, I have a young wife, man, so I gotta hold it down, bro. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be able to do my part, and
Yeah, but I
that's a
mean,
big part of marriage.
why do
Uh,
you think she chose you, though? Of all the guys that probably hit on her before, why you?
uh, the thing about it is, believe it or not, when it comes to when she gave me the reason for that, it's exactly that the ability that I have to be able to go places with her, uh, and we're only about 20 years apart, so we had a lot in common. But yeah, the main thing was to be able to do things with her. Was the main driver behind that.
Yeah, I mean, your
She,
character.
I asked,
What do you think about your what characteristic? Was it because you
because
were
not because
intelligent? Was you
not
intelligent?
because I wouldn't, you know, because I'm never a reserved person, of a type of a person, man. I approached her just like very blunt and everything, and she said, "Man, I've never had anybody approach me like that." She really thought I was crazy at first. And now what I'm saying is, I look at something and I want to get to know you a little better than that, for real. So it was one of them deals where uh, I actually was the one to understand the situation, you know, as far as you know, what I was gonna bring to the table. But the ultimate deal was her thing was, she's never been approached in such ways. You know what I'm saying? Like Filipinos won't just go up to a chick and you know, ask them out bluntly, or you know, what's up, you know, this and that. And she was really appreciative of the honesty, for real. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Danny? Why do you think Irene, of all the guys on International Cupid, why you, Danny?
I don't know, man. I think I just lucked out, man. I mean, she's gorgeous, and I'm like Shrek, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why she chose me, man.
And remember, I met my wife in person, not online, so that's a big difference. Yeah.
But Texas, it really is it's no difference really, because when Filipinos see us, I'm gonna tell you, I know why Maryland chose me. I was the first one to get to her, first of all. And then second of all, she knew I could help her financially. Now, what has kept her around is something totally different, but I'm not going to lie to myself, man. I know it was a financial thing.
Yeah.
They see us. They see that
Yeah.
bright future in us.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
online, you know,
that's why I made the video Finance to Romance. Everybody knows that they're initially attracted to us financially. Now it's up to us to move it over
Yeah.
and make it romantic. You know, make her be interested into us. I mean, in us romantically. And if you're
Yeah.
unable to do that, if you're going to stay over here on that finance side, man, you got a long way to go, and you
Yeah.
better have long pockets.
Yeah.
well, you know,
Yeah.
I think with meeting somebody like on a dating website, you know, you have to be serious about going over there and meeting them. You know, if you're just going on there just to bullshit and, you know, flirt around with them and, you know, just kind of lead them on, you know, eventually, you know, you're going to experience some ghosting, what they call ghosting. You know, you be chatting with somebody, you be getting along, you know, chatting with them for a good while, and all of a sudden they'll disappear on you. And
Yeah.
you know, I think it's important. You know, once you meet somebody and you're serious about meeting them,
Yeah.
you need to start making plans to go over there and see them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, they might be chatting with, you know, with several other guys, and
Well,
they
that's
may.
the whole point. That's the whole point with the
Right.
Filipino. Her first question is, "Are you coming?" The second question
Yeah.
is, "When
Yeah.
are you coming?"
Yeah, certainly,
And
certainly the financial aspect plays a big role in it, Calvin, when it comes to a Filipina's life.
initially,
Of course, yeah.
but
But I will tell you in my household,
But
when it
that's the
comes to the
unspoken
financial
agreement.
thing, I
that's
manage the
unspoken
financial
agreement.
thing here. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that's an
I don't,
unspoken
yeah.
agreement. But like you said, Danny, they're looking if you coming over. Are you serious? Because they're talking with 3 or 4 other men. They don't know who's coming. So
Right.
they're going to tell you the same thing. They're going to show you the same thing. They're going to do everything to you the same. But when you
Right.
get over here, she's going to act like it
Yeah.
was only you. That's
Yeah.
not true, guys. That's not true. If you online, Filipinos aren't stupid. They're going to want to increase their odds too. So they
Right.
say, okay. So when you do it, they want to make it seem like you're a player, but you're not. That's why I made the video yesterday. You need to do the same damn thing. If you're going to spend all that money to come over here,
Right.
okay, on that, make that long. I mean, this is a long trip. Anybody who's ever made it. This isn't nothing to play with, guys. So when I come over here, I'm going to get exactly what I want. Whatever's been brewing in my mind, that's what I'm going to have when I get over here. I've already made a big investment.
Mm-hmm.
All right. She hasn't done nothing over here. They're just sitting over here waiting for the first man to arrive.
Show up,
See?
yeah.
That's it. Danny, you was the first one. I was the first one. Fred was the first one, probably.
Well, you know, my time is different from you guys' time. You know, we're talking about some over 35 years ago.
Yeah.
Where
There was no online back then, no online
because
dating back then.
online and meeting the type of woman that I met would have been very difficult to meet because the family back then was so protective.
Yeah.
I remember I told you, Calvin, one of our previous talks, when me and Lynn did start dating, she could never go nowhere with me by herself. Somebody was always with us all the time.
Being
And then
chaperone.
as far as financial, Lynn had a job. Lynn had a job. She didn't need me, you know.
Yeah, but your wife is very intelligent, Fred.
Yeah.
She knew that being with somebody like you, even though she had a good job, was going to offer her a better future than if some, you know, Joe Blow down at the marketplace.
It would obviously.
Well, the part kind of funny about my wife, you know, back then she had a lot of suitors. You guys know what that means. A lot of guys was trying to talk to her. Well, who would wind up entertaining him would be her mother, because she said she don't want to be bothered with him. She'd go upstairs and leave him. Okay. And like I told you, she gave me a hard time, when I was trying to date her and all that stuff. She didn't want nothing to do with me whatsoever, but I was persistent, is what it was. She probably did want to date me, but I didn't know it. Okay. She probably knew we was going to get married, but at the time, I didn't know it,
Yeah, because that was one of the questions. Do you choose the Filipino? Does the Filipino choose you?
Well, I think she chose me already. I just didn't know it.
I think that they choose us because Marilyn, see, that's what I like about her. She's honest.
Yeah.
She said, well, she was chatting with me. Believe it or not, she did the whole rainbow. She was chatting with me, a black man, a white guy, and an Asian who lived in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
All those guys had more money than me, but guess what? I was already in the Philippines. She didn't know it.
Boots on the ground. Boots on the ground.
She didn't know it, Danny.
You got to her first, man.
So I got there first. I'm under no delusion that I'm some type of, bad guy. Because if any of those other two guys would have got her first, they would be with her, man. But it's changed into something else because that's when your character and all of that comes out. But initially, man, we have to quit fooling ourselves. Guys come over thinking there's somebody special. I'm like, man, there's nobody special.
Hey, Calvin. Calvin. Okay, I've got a long distance conversation, right? But let me tell you how that happened. Okay, because I had met her on Filipino Cupid, right? And one day I called, and her daughter answered her phone. And so I thought it was her. And so I started talking to her. And then she finally said, "You want to talk to my mother?" And I'm saying, wait a minute. I thought you were your mother. She goes, no. So I said, oh, okay. Well, it's really nice to meet you. And how was your day going? And I made conversation with her. So she said, I tell you what, I'm going to have my mother call you back when she finishes with getting the shower. Okay. So she calls me back and she goes, what did you say to my daughter? I said, I didn't say anything. I just thought it was you and I was just making conversation. She's told me, she says, she really likes you. So I asked her, I said, is that why you called me back? And she told me, yeah. So
now, how old is she?
Who? The daughter?
No, your long distance conversation.
43.
Yeah. See, here's another thing I want to tell you guys. You got to take the taste, touch, and smell test. See, I'm going to be honest with you. It ain't real until you get over here. And then it still might not be real unless you stay over here, because I see it all the time, man. These women are very good actresses, man. They fooled me so many times. There's people here right now in this little big sleepy town, St. Carlos City, that you would think they're the most loyal wife, man. The minute he's gone back to the States, she's screwing somebody else, man.
Yeah.
Because they're young. And see, it's a difference, man, when you're not screwing women. When they're not getting any, they can hold it down. But when you hitting that thing all the time, every night just about, and then you leave, she's going to want that again.
She's addicted.
You have to be careful. I wouldn't trust any of them. I promise you that. That's why I wouldn't do a long distance relationship. Not after knowing what I know now. I wouldn't do it. Because there's somebody lurking in them shadows, man. And guys get mad when I tell them, but I'm just telling you the truth.
Yeah.
But going back to our conversation earlier with Roger. See, here's the thing for me. Okay, I'm a full-grown man at 72 years of age. Okay, and if I don't like a situation, I have absolutely no problem with changing that situation.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying that until you can really, until you boots on the ground and you can taste it, touch it, and smell it, it's really nothing, man. Because remember, she's chatting to other guys. Don't think you're the only one because
Well,
she
that's why
doesn't
I told
believe.
you it's a long distance conversation.
Yeah, she doesn't believe you're coming. First of all, you can't convince them. They're not going to believe it until you get boots on the ground. Until then, that's what I'm telling you. All the time that we invest in these long distance conversations, a guy could meet her 1 week from now, show up there, and all your time, investment, and everything is gone.
Yeah.
I know.
If I had any doubt or reason that I was gonna live here for good, I would have never gotten married or get serious with anybody here. I promise you that. I promise you that.
Because Tanoy, you the man. You know what your life is going to be about. You're not depending on somebody else to influence whether you're going to move to the left or move to the right, slow down or speed up. Correct. You are in control of your life. Yeah. And that's one thing that I strongly emphasize whenever I talk to people and they talk about, well, I want to go to the Philippines, or I want to go to Israel, or I want to go to Colombia. And I just tell them, just make sure you're in control of your life and you can say no. Because if you can't say no, you're safer staying at home than going to a foreign country.
Yeah. Yeah. If you coming over here for the woman, man, you don't put yourself in a bad situation anyway. Yeah. If that's your number one priority. See, if you flip the script, see, it's a script, guys, and y'all don't understand. If you come over here and you flip the script and you don't follow the script, she's got to tear it up, and they don't know how to go on the fly. A lot of them don't. See, here's the script. Yeah. Here's the script. Yeah. You chat with them. You come over here. They meet you at the airport. You go to the hotel. You screw. You meet the family. You spend all your time with her. You go back. You may do that 1 or 2 times. You fill out the visa papers. And then bring her home. That's the script, guys. That's the script that every Filipino has in her mind.
Yeah. Okay.
If you come over here and you do something different, you be like, I'm not ready for a relationship. I want to look around and see what else is here. Hell, the first lady I saw over here, she didn't let me leave Moncton. Imagine coming all the way over here to the Philippines, 20 hours, and I never left Moncton. I never left Lapu-Lapu, Danny. That's crazy as that.
That's because she had you locked in.
At least you'll admit it.
You don't want to get involved with nobody else.
Yeah,
she want to lock you in.
I'm telling you guys to tell you that that's the script.
Yep.
You don't want that script. I never did that script again. It didn't hit me till I got home. I was like, damn. I went to the Philippines. I didn't even go to see Manila. I didn't ever see Manila. I didn't see nothing. Yeah. So now I said, well, the hell, I'm coming over here for me. I'm going to go wherever I want to go. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Yeah. And nobody's going to be in control of my time but me.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to do what you want to do.
Yeah, but once you get whipped and the woman is I tell you guys, y'all really are playing with odds when you come over here and meet one woman and one woman only. Is that your case, Danny? You never met anybody else but her?
Yeah, just her.
Wow. But what is it, though? What is it about her that you know this is the one? What was it? Help somebody out here.
Well, when I was on those dating websites, Calvin, I didn't meet Irene until about 9 months into it.
Yeah.
I was on three different dating websites. The first one was TyCupid. And let me tell you, when I first got the membership on there, I was overwhelmed, man. I mean, I was getting like hundreds of notifications from literally hundreds of different women. So, I was like a one-eyed cat in the fish market, man.
That's a good one, bro. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
And yeah, I chatted with just, I mean, literally, I'm not lying, hundreds of women I chatted with.
It became a hobby, didn't it?
It was like a full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stay up till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. I had to get up, 4 hours later to go to work a 12-hour shift, and I do it all over again. I'd be getting notifications while I was at work. My phone be bing, 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 bing.
Will T secret, whatever this question earlier was, what kind of bike? I have a Yamaha 750 here, and over here it's considered a big bike over here, but in America there are bigger bikes. But yeah, it's a Yamaha 750. Yeah,
but
that'll take a hill.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was on that Thai Cupid for a while, and then I discovered another dating website that was kind of linked to it. It was called Afro Introductions. So I was chatting with all these women over in Africa, in Ghana, Cameroon, South Africa. I mean, I was getting overwhelmed, man.
Yeah.
And eventually I discovered International Cupid, which that encompassed the whole world. That was like the holy grail of dating websites. And eventually, like I said, 9 months later, when I started on those dating websites, that's when I met Irene. And it was just her sense of humor. We just really clicked, all the other women, there was other women that I had chatted with, and I thought, it was kind of going somewhere, but then that whole ghosting thing would happen, and it happened more than once, and eventually I was like, well, shit, when I met Irene, I was like, shit, I better start getting serious about actually going over there and meeting her, and I met her in July 2019, and then September I bought tickets to go over there, and I met her over there in October.
But you never been with another Filipina but her. How old is she? How old is she?
She's 38 right now.
Yeah,
she was
so
36
you
when I met her.
never been with anybody else.
She's
well, he didn't need to. Hey, Danny, you didn't need anybody else. You had already screened the whole world.
Right.
No, but it's a difference. It's a difference between chatting and actually being with women boots on the ground.
True.
Of course.
It's
Well,
a difference.
I got lucky. I got lucky.
No, you put in the work, bro.
No, you didn't get lucky, because a lot of the Filipino women, the Filipino gets lucky. We don't get lucky. We get unlucky. They get lucky because they don't know who they're dealing with, really.
Exactly.
We're all over the place in the West. I mean, you might be a garbage collector, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you done told the Filipino you're a professor. See, I'm telling the truth, Fred. Or else, you may tell her that your financial situation is better off than it is, because those are the games we play.
Right.
The Filipino, though, what you see usually is what you get.
Hey, Calvin, instead of saying a garbage collector, the correct term is sanitation engineer.
Sanitation.
He said he's looking at
garbage collectors make really good money.
He said he's looking at African Cupid right now, Danny, because of you. It said the reason you was ghosted is because the other guy showed up. I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. All we need is one. And maybe Danny, what a good woman looks like. See,
right?
Because a Filipino sure knows what a good man looks like.
Yeah,
she knows. That's a fact. And she got a good one in you, Danny. She could not have done better. Trust me. Trust me, man. I'm serious about that, man. Look at your life. Look at your career. Look at all you bring to the table. Man, there's no way that lady could do better than you. She better stick to you.
Man, let me tell you guys something. The caliber of men on Sunshine Shoulders as subscribers, if I was a Filipino, I'd say forget Filipino Cupid. I'd be subscribing to Sunshine Shoulders.
That's right, though. It's true, Dana. And I said that to a guy. I said, man, I wouldn't have a problem introducing any of these guys to somebody over here, you know, because of the character, the quality of character that comes on here, man. Some of these guys are just unbelievably great human beings. They're successful. Yeah. They've had, you know, just, I mean, wonderful careers, successful businesses, and everything like that.
Simps don't apply here, Calvin.
What? Simps
don't apply here.
That's right. Now, this guy says, can you find province girls on Cebu Island? Well, hell,
you can.
Cebu is a province. The only thing about the province,
he hasn't been here.
To answer 907 living, most of those mall workers and pharmacy workers and all this, they are from the province, countryside of the islands. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they just come to the city to work.
Right.
Yeah. But be careful. Be careful what you wish for. I don't know. You know, they've been listening to guys who say all the province girls are better. It's just a matter of
not always true.
Opinion. Man, let me tell you something about province women. First of all, the English, you know, the communication barrier is going to be there, man. You know, not only that, but they're going to be a whole lot more when they put their claws into you. If you break off with them, you may have to leave the country.
Irene's a province girl.
Yeah, but you didn't break up with her. You break up with her.
Nah, she's a good one, man. She's a good woman.
Hey, Danny, are you there in the Philippines or in the States?
I'm in Missouri right now.
Oh, in Missouri. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm a lot closer to the Philippines than you guys are, except for the ones that's already there.
Absolutely. Now, how long you gonna stay this time, Danny?
I'm gonna stay for 30 days.
Another month.
Now, let me ask you, since you're doing it right now,
right? And
be honest, man, as honest as you could possibly can.
All right.
B. How hard is a long distance relationship? Because you got a real one.
Well, it's not easy. It is not easy. I mean, we've had a lot of fights and arguments. You know, I mean, it's kind of childish, but there's been numerous times where, you know, I've gotten pissed off and blocked her on Facebook and Messenger, and then I start missing her, and then I'd unblock her, and then, you know, and all this bullshit.
Typical teenager stuff,
Right.
But I mean, okay, you can't miss what you never had. You've had her before.
Right.
Y'all spent 3 weeks together. How, you know, that's gotta be, man,
I couldn't do it. I could not do that, bro. I couldn't do it.
I mean,
I couldn't do it either.
It's tough. I mean, you know, I mean, a long distance relationship is tough just in general. Then you add the distance, you know, 8,300 miles. And then, and if that's not enough, hey, let's throw in the fucking coronavirus. I mean, excuse my language, but.
No,
that's
but I mean,
right there, Danny.
You know what you're missing, though, don't you? I mean, sometimes if I'm away from Maryland, even for one day, I can feel it in my bones, man, because I know if she was here, what would be happening. Now, you've done it for 2.5 years or something, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Next month will be 2.5 years since I last saw her.
Wow. I mean, and after
but that was not your control. That's a pandemic.
Right. Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you felt that soft caress. You know, you know what's waiting for you when you get here.
Right.
It's gotta be, man. That's man. I couldn't deal with that.
And that's
it's not helping by you saying that, Calvin.
Well, you know, we always ask everybody the question.
You're not making it any easier, Calvin.
Danny, you plan to move to the Philippines for good one of these days.
There, man.
That soft caress. Calvin,
But
please.
then he's gonna come here and do it all over again. Are you crazy, Danny? Maybe you need to check into that damn hospital you working in.
I mean, you remember where I work, right? I work in a psychiatric hospital.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
So I'm a
Maybe you
little
need to
crazy.
check in. But man,
So,
you're
so,
gonna do it
so,
all over again.
I work in
So,
two
Danny,
psychiatric hospitals.
after you retire, are you going to move to the Philippines for good? How many more
Yes,
years
sir.
you got left? How many years you got left there?
Well, if everything goes accordingly, which in my life it doesn't go accordingly, but
Yeah.
the starting point will start in October 2023.
Okay.
Oh yeah. All right.
But I'm paying child support on 2 kids. My 2
Yeah.
kids. Well, according to the Missouri state law for child support, it doesn't stop when they graduate from high school and when they turn 18.
Yeah.
Now for Missouri,
Oh, wow.
for Missouri, if my kids decide to go to college, I'll be paying child support until they either turn 21 or they graduate from college, whichever comes first.
Wow.
Hey, Danny, I got a suggestion. Have
Right.
him join the Air Force and let the Air Force pay for their education, or join the military. That way, they'll let you off. I mean, no kidding.
That's right.
I've been trying to talk my kids in, going into the Navy, because I was in the Navy.
Yeah.
And
let the Navy pay for their schooling.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, he asked the question. He says, how do you know she's faithful to you, Danny? You just take her word for it?
I just my faith in God, and I just, I have 100% total faith in her.
Good for
Sometimes,
you, Danny.
well, you know what it
Good for
is.
you,
Sometimes you get that feeling, and sometimes
Right.
you just got to take the chance.
Right.
I mean, you go through life without taking some chances, and always worry about whether she's faithful or not. If you got a good one, I like to think you feel it. You can tell.
I mean, if you think about it, she's taking a chance too. I mean, I could be going out and screwing, women every other weekend. But
Well, I doubt it back to Missouri.
Okay, maybe not in Missouri.
But here's the thing, though. You don't have, do you really think who's winning in this thing, though? If you were to go out and screw, it wouldn't be no big deal to her.
Right. It's just mutual trust.
Yeah.
Danny,
has trust in me.
Danny, your conscience is showing you're a good man. You're not going to do that kind of stuff. That's hyperbole. Forget all that. You're a good man. And listen, I believe that you picked a real good woman. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
But does that feeling really make any sense to everybody? Because I heard Fred say something about it. I don't trust that feeling anymore. Because like I said, is it love? Is it infatuation?
Yeah.
Is it euphoria? I mean, based on you've only spent 3 weeks with her, Danny.
Right.
I'm not picking on you. I'm trying to help some guys who are thinking about, who are going to go through the same thing you're going through. They're going to sign up for that, Danny. They're going to sign up for all of the pain that you're telling us that you go through. They're going to sign up for it. What?
Right.
It's just like Roger said. Why do we throw our common sense away when we get over here?
Well, but Calvin, you got some guys that come there. They're there for 3 weeks. You were lucky. Texas was lucky because you met your lady there. I was lucky because I met my lady there. I got to know her, But online these days is the way to go. And you could talk to 50 million different women. You still don't know what you're going to get. It's a chance that you have to take. And we say we go somewhere for 3 weeks. We tell guys, to shop around. But some guys find what they like and they take a chance with it. And we hope it works out for them. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
Everybody.
What I'm saying is you got to take.
Panel,
sometimes you take a chance. You take a chance. Sometimes.
Is a risk taker. Every man that's on this panel is a risk taker. Okay, and that's that's the common denominator. You
But
have
what
to
I'm
be
saying is
willing.
I'm talking about the long distance relationships because
Yeah.
most of us on the panel have never had long distance
No,
relationships.
I never had
We
one.
don't really know what we're signing up for. Man, these
Right.
long distance relationships are nothing to play with, man. It
Yeah.
can drive you crazy up here because now, especially when you start getting feelings and you're
It's,
Yeah.
saying,
it's not easy.
oh, is she with somebody else? Is she not? Can I trust her? Man, but we
But-
voluntarily, not me, because I
Yeah.
never did it.
But you know,
Yeah.
the thing is, Calvin, that seems to be the way to go. But see, when you guys that get over there for 3 weeks, okay, you know, you're trying to have your relationship. You go back to the States, maybe you come back a year later for
No
3
way,
weeks, and hopefully you're gonna build something from there. These guys are not lucky like we were because we were there for a long period of time. We lived there, and that's how we was able to meet, you know, our ladies and all that stuff. Where
Well, see,
a guy that's doing a long distance relationship,
Is it better to wait then, Fred? Is it better
know?
to wait until you can stay here
Correct.
for good
That's
instead
what
of
I.
going back? You know, because you come over for 3 weeks doesn't mean you have to get involved with somebody.
well, you know, let me tell you this: if I was
Over
a young man again, back in my 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever it was, yeah, I could do that. But you know, as
Yeah.
you get older, you start looking for
But even-
something a little bit
but
more
even-
real. It don't mean you get taken in. You know, you still got to be careful in things that you do. But
Right.
you know, some guys work up until they're in their late 60s, 70s, maybe older. You know,
Yeah, that way just
maybe
came
they'll meet
over.
somebody late. Yeah.
That way just came over.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I'm
Yeah.
saying, why not just wait then? Why put yourself through all of that?
I might not have even come over if I would have.
Calvin, let me just tell you this. As a 72-year-old man about to turn 73 in September, one of the hardest things you can do, and I don't care how you apply it, is wait. Okay? Especially when you have your eye on the prize.
But
Okay.
you waited this long, Dana.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah.
But I'm not being dormant.
Hold on. You're saying something totally different than what I'm saying. I'm saying there's nothing wrong with us coming to the Philippines for 3 weeks, having
Yeah.
a good time. You don't have to get emotionally involved with
No
a woman.
way.
Why would
That's
you
too-
do that to
That's
yourself?
too short of a
If you
time.
go back,
Hey,
I don't care if it's 6 months. I don't care.
Okay,
if it's
well,
a year.
you weren't that specific when you first described it. As
I
far
did.
as, but no, you didn't say anything about being emotionally involved. No,
Yeah,
I'm
but you're talking about a long
nobody's
distance
gonna get-
relationship. You don't have
because
a
you're in a long distance relationship
yet, you know?
doesn't mean that you're totally committed emotionally.
Yeah, but you don't have a long distance relationship yet.
Yeah, I know. I have a long distance conversation. So
Right.
why would I be
Now,
emotionally
when you
involved?
come
in a long
over
distance-
here, now here's what's going to happen to you. This 43-year-old woman, when you come over here, you mark my words, she's going to knock your damn socks off. Okay, more than likely, you're going to extend one time. Then you're going to go home. And all you're going to be thinking about is this fine 43-year-old woman and what she did to you for that little time you was in the Philippines. And it's going to torture you, man.
Well, you
Hey,
know
let me
what?
ask you,
Calvin?
let me ask you,
Calvin?
Dana. On
Calvin,
your
you got
next,
Calvin. You got to remember, I was already planning to move to the Philippines before all of this started. So St. Croix had gotten too expensive. So I'm coming with or without a woman as a destination.
Oh, so you coming for good then, right?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not coming over there to put my toe in the water. I'm jumping in. I'm moving.
Wow, okay, well, good.
Yeah, Dana, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
You know, meeting a woman in
Yeah,
advance
Dana.
like that. You know,
Calvin, I can run my travel business as well from Balamban as I can here in Dallas.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, you're doing the right thing, though.
Keep game,
If I'm
Dana.
gonna
That's
come
good,
over
bro.
here, because I'm,
Wow.
I give some advice on my channel. People don't listen, but I wouldn't start getting involved with these Filipinos, man, not seriously, until either I bring her to my country or I'm able to stay here 100%.
I'm staying here for good.
Because otherwise, man, you're gonna cause yourself a lot of mental harm, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Man, I wouldn't bring a Filipino to the United States for all the money because then she won't be a Filipino.
Dana's done his homework, man. He's good, bro. He'll be all right over here, man.
Dog Tree
He's
for
gonna
that
be
super
good.
chat. He said, even if you are a good man, when you get to Cebu, you will feel like a grizzly bear when the salmon are running thick. Abundance of yummy is crazy. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
you gotta know exactly what you want, because when you get over here and you see all this available out there, did you see that? Did you experience that, Danny? Did you have any second thoughts at all
Any second thoughts about what?
About swaying,
Irene?
Danny, swaying to the other side.
Oh no, no. Once I met her, that was it for me.
Irene was just for you, but
Now, does she have
wow.
does she have any children, Danny, or is she single?
She has 3 kids. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But that's good because you got 2 kids of your own, so your guys are kind of even. You know what I'm saying? That's good.
Right there, Reynolds, thanks for that super sticker. But guys.
Calvin, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, if something was to happen to Lynn, be honest with you, and if I was going to move to the Philippines, which I would, I wait till I get there. But see, if I've already got a good woman. If she leaves, I'm not going to be looking for nobody else. To be honest with you, I may just rather be on my own, not looking for no live-in or anything like that. And if I meet somebody that nice, I may want to stay with. I'm not going to marry anymore. I mean, for me, this is it. I'm done.
Yeah, not me. If my wife was able to leave me the next day, she replaced, bro, like that. She replaced.
But you understand what I'm saying, because we're talking about, because some of us are older gentlemen, and you can caught up in the scam, but it's a chance you take no matter.
Fred not already in the fourth quarter. Okay?
But see, Fred. But see, if I'm in Fred's shoes and I'm at that age and everything, my wife leave me, I'm gonna be a bunch of 19-year-olds running around my house and cleaning my house and stuff. Shit, I ain't gonna buckle down like that.
Well, I may not go to 19-year-olds. Okay, a little bit too young for me. Yeah, I'd rather have a woman that's a bit more mature or something like that.
I'm talking about the long.
I know long distance. I know what you're talking about, Kelvin. Long distance relationships, but for some people, like Danny's involved in a long distance relationship, and okay, so far it seems to be working, but we don't know what the future is going to bring. But I always hope the best. I'm happy. If you can find that one good lady, then you're lucky. But the thing is,
I'm not afraid to take the risk.
In between times, guys, come on. We're talking. Let's. This is a real channel.
I'm keeping it nitty gritty.
He spent 3 weeks with this beautiful. Because I've seen this girl. She's beautiful. She's sexy. Sure. I know she knocked his socks off. She gave him the tune-up, 3 oil change, lube job. Now he's been away for 2 years and a half. He knows he suffered, right, Danny?
Yeah.
Just thinking about getting back to her under whatever circumstances, COVID, whatever it is. Right. I'm saying, me personally, I wouldn't put myself through that.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't plan on putting himself into that. Yeah. He didn't say, I'm going to start a relationship and then the COVID's going to hit.
No, we're not talking about COVID, because he's getting ready to come over now when there is no COVID for 30 days.
Yeah,
back. It's going to be even worse now when he goes back.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, the worst part of it, is the whole separation at the airport. Man, it's like ripping out your heart, man.
Yeah.
Right.
I couldn't do that. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
I mean, it's horrible. I mean, when I left the last time, I felt like I was abandoning her,
Yeah.
It was the worst feeling ever. But
Danny, you're a great guy, man.
I'm glad you got on it, Danny, because I'm not picking on you.
That's my mother. This is my mother-in-law, bro. My best friend. That's my mother-in-law.
Hey,
that's my mother-in-law.
Danny has got a real long-distance relationship.
Yeah,
I'm trying to help other guys who are thinking about getting in these long-distance relationships. They're not easy, man. They're not easy.
You got to.
I think we all agree about that.
Calvin, it's hard enough to compete with a real relationship when you're actually there. Some of the stuff you may have to go through, but I still look at it this way. No matter what you do, One of the gentlemen said it earlier. Sometimes it's just chances that you take. And if you did go there a lot and live there, there's no guarantee on that either.
Exactly.
But like you saying, Calvin, you want your options open. If a guy's going there for a good time, why would you want to tie yourself up with one person? If I was there for a good time, I certainly would have more than one person lined up that I want to spend time with. And, it's the way I look at it. But see, because of my situation, what I've been in, I got a good one. And like I said earlier, if something happens, I don't want anybody else again. Like to have a good time. That's about it.
Yeah.
Okay, Fred, get off this channel.
Okay, bye.
You've already crossed the goal line. You've already crossed the goal line.
Well, we were talking about different. When Calvin talking about long distance relationship, he's right. I know he is. I agree with him.
But Fred didn't see. Fred's coming from a position. He's been married to a good woman for 33 years.
Yeah.
Have y'all ever been separated, Fred, for any period of time?
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
See.
The most have been separated with my job. I used to have to go to states, every year. But the most I would stay back is about 2 weeks. And sometimes, when she take a vacation, she would go with me, her and the kids. So we never been separated for any long length of time, like months apart. I don't think I could
teach
take
a
that,
class, Fred. You need to teach a class, Fred.
But look at Calvin. Look how happy Calvin looks. Some of the story he tells. He found him a good lady.
Yeah.
You're not looking for nobody else. Okay.
Because I'm not dealing with a long distance relationship. I'm not dealing with anything that's going to bring me stress.
No way.
I'm looking for peace. I'm looking for happiness.
Yeah.
Fred, we're old. I'm 58. I don't know about anybody else. I'll be 59.
Hey, Fred, that's funny, huh?
Me and Dana may be the oldest guys on the panel.
Yeah,
that's right.
So we don't have a lot of time to mess around. I'm not going to create a situation for myself.
Yeah.
If we do that to ourselves, that's going to be stressful. That's going to be, I'd rather not have anybody than to have a woman that I can't touch, taste, or smell. I'm sorry.
That is a monumental task, man. I could not do that, and that's what I was saying. But compared to you guys, I'm not that senior, but I even knew what I was looking for, and I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I've made up my mind a long time ago. I'm gonna be right here.
Well,
so
because you made up your mind. You are living your script.
Yep.
But it doesn't even have to be a woman, though. It can be coming over here with not enough money. I don't want to do anything that's going to stress me out over here.
Hell no.
Come over to that.
None of us do.
But Calvin, I did this one thing that we always talk about. I did marry a younger woman. I did do that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that is a formula, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Let me ask you, Roger. You sitting there quiet. Do you have a problem with an age gap?
Oh, I prefer it. I have to have it. Are you kidding me? I would not date a woman that's my age. Unless I've known her for 30-something years, like the brother next to me. The reason why is because our value as a man, we're earned value. We become more valuable with time. If our health is good or decent, we earn the right to date younger women. It is not something that it's just a part of the journey of manhood.
It's Mother Nature. It's Mother Nature.
I mean,
you look at a pride of lions. It's the older lion that gets all the young lioness.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. You go. I don't care what you look at as far as any living animal on this planet, including us. Okay. There's always that difference. In the West, we came up with this. Women came up with this stuff about, you're too old for her. Okay.
No.
I guarantee you, a man didn't come up with that idea.
Okay. Yeah. By the design of nature, the male wants a younger female to bear his children, right? A healthy, right? And the girls want an older cat, a mature cat to provide security and everything else.
Provide and protect. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I hear this age gap crap, it's like, you just buy into this psychological scam that's
Before the
limiting men to who they can be attracted to. I'm out.
yeah. But for the record, I'm 47 and my wife is 25. Yep.
Good
That
for
sounds
you.
beautiful to me. I mean,
Yep.
I'll be honest with you, and I think that's more a thing in the West where they try to shame men into taking bad deals.
Exactly.
Because what happens is when those women are in their early 20s at the peak of their value, their market value, they were the ones turning their nose up at guys and don't want to talk to them, whatever.
Yeah.
Now that they're older, see, we're at the peak of our
up.
value. So we have the options now because of our earned value. And women
That's
get
right.
to men, they value us for our protection, security, provision. That's why when I look at Danny, you're the prize, whether you believe it or not, because your ability to provide provision and protection supersedes any woman's physical appearance. That's really, you're more valuable than any woman's physical appearance. And I think it's just a matter of men believing that. What you bring to the table is 10 times more valuable than any woman's physical appearance.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey guys, have anybody ever thought about the fact that younger women wear less makeup than older women, and why?
Yeah.
It's a
We know why.
$23 billion
I was
industry.
talking about something before. I don't want to. Me and Roger was talking about something earlier today. I don't want to date a 58-year-old woman. I don't want to date a woman my
Exactly.
age.
Hell no, I
Exactly.
don't come in for that.
I
Hell
definitely don't.
Yeah,
No way.
It's
Well, I mean,
what's
even
the age group with you, Danny? What's the age gap?
She's 38 right now, and I'm 52.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what does a 52-year-old woman look like in your city, Danny? Be honest now.
What's what?
What's a 52-year-old woman look like in
She
your
this big.
town?
She this big like that.
Oh, you've been to Walmart, so you know what I'm.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Come on,
Look
now.
like a 50-gallon drum.
Come on.
There you go, feminist people. Talk about that stuff.
yeah, but that's
woke,
that's
you know,
that's the
all that-
fallacy that
all
people have.
that
That
all that woke bullshit. A woman weigh like 500 pounds, and somehow I'm supposed to accept that as sexy? Hell no.
No.
But they
Well, you
always
said
try
that,
to make
bro.
it seem like we're the same. Women like us for different things than what we like them for.
Yeah.
Our value is different, and it's not
But I-
it's not based on our physical appearance. It's based on our ability to provide and protect. And a guy like Danny has an extreme ability to provide and protect. So is all the men on this panel, and that is where your greatest value. When you're young, you're broke. You can't afford nothing. You can't provide and protect. You're out there. You got rabbit ears coming out of your pockets. You don't got $1 to your name. What can you protect? My
Man,
boys
you
are
going to
young.
McDonald's for a date.
Right.
It's what it is. Yeah, right.
I'm going to be more powerful than my boys, even though they're younger than me, because I've earned the ability to provide and protect. That's why they lean on me. That's why our kids lean on us, because we're protectors, and that power comes with time, age, how you invest your money, how you save, your brain, problem solving, your experience. That's your value. That's greater than any woman's physical body, because that body deteriorates, but our brain only gets more powerful. Think of all the knowledge that you have in your brain at this age. There's things that young men don't have.
You should ask Leica what the oldest bracket what she would be.
Let me answer this. She says, hey, thanks for the super chat, Leica. She says, well, same here, Sir Calvin. I don't want to date an 85-year-old dude, but I mean, that's good, but I think you missed Roger's point. You look to be in your 20s. A 20-year-old man is broke. I mean,
See, but they all start out like that until they experience what I call struggle life. When you get to that situation where you're not eating good, not living good.
So let's ask her from her Filipina point of view in her mind. What is an acceptable age gap for you, Leica? How about that? What is that?
Good question. Good question.
Yeah. What would she consider norm in her perception is right?
Yes,
and the
one
clock
thing,
is ticking.
Thing, y'all, I think
well, let me ask.
Here, we think that Filipinos don't want to have sex, but they do.
Well, let me ask Leica a question. I'm a 40. I retired at 46. I'm a 47-year-old guy. I have a pension that will last the rest of my life. I've worked 20 years in police work. I have the ability to tell her that she can never work for the rest of her life. What 22-year-old young man can do that? And that's the difference between. So you're telling me you would not date a 47-year-old guy who works out all the time, can have the ability to provide and protect. Young men can't do that. And that's what women are attracted to. You see, so you're 32. Would you date a 47-year-old retired guy? All of my kids are grown. I have no other responsibility other than myself at this point, because the youngest kid is on a scholarship. Would you date a guy my age versus a guy that's
32.
younger, 22 years old? Right, 30-year-old guy. You know, that's the question.
So that's that. You know what I'm saying? So that's I guess it is what it is. Yeah.
So we get better with
remember,
age.
Filipinos aren't stupid though. See, they already know.
Yeah.
What we bring to the table, but we get in our own way, Roger. We're so thirsty, and we bring those old ways from the United States that they're old in the United States. They don't work, but we bring them over thinking they're going to work.
So there you go. Like I answered the question. Yeah.
We put the woman way up here.
Yeah.
Turn that off.
Wow. So her max is 59 years old. Her max, which is almost doubling her own age. So there you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I think like even in American culture is where we devalue men, but the reality of it is that we get more. It takes time to build a man. Men are made, women are born.
Antics.
We're not
hiding from Davao.
Right. We're like appreciating assets. If we take care of our health, we're appreciating assets because our ability and our brain becomes so much better. I mean, I'm so much better mentally than I was as a 22-year-old, 25-year-old. Are you kidding me? That guy didn't know nothing. So, you know, it's our brain that's power.
Yeah.
Our resources.
K Dallas asked a question. Are we a high valued people in the Philippines? You're damn right. Hell yeah. It is in America. That's right. Yeah.
This is Philippine Antics Expat Help. I think they changed their name. It used to be just Philippine Antics. Now it's Expat Help. I think that's a good change too.
She's cool. She's got a very open mind with her views over here as a female expat. She's got a very good view on things here. That's right.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that her husband, I think they did a video on how to pick up a Filipina. I thought that was funny because he's married to an American woman. I thought it was good, you know, because we want videos like that though. We think it's something special that we have to do to pick these women up, but we really don't, man. It's really nothing special. To be honest,
just be yourself.
Yeah, but they're not stupid. They know that an older man is more stable. He's more financially secure. Most of us anyway. Yeah. And so they don't have a problem dating us.
Plus they know they're going to outlive us anyway.
More than likely, but I don't know. My Merlin's brother's wife, dad, is 36.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask Dana, when you come here, Dana, where eventually are you going to settle at?
Man, I don't know yet. I'm looking at Iloilo. I'm looking at Cebu. I'm looking at Davao.
Man, I wish you would come here, bro. Be cool.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I told you. You know, as soon as I have some kind of idea and time frame, I'll be letting you know, because definitely I'm coming down there, and I can't think of anybody better to show me around.
I'll tell you what.
Okay, then you.
Yeah, if any of you guys come over here, I got a whole third floor for y'all to stay at if that need be. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, Texas always says he's opening up. He's opening that up.
Okay, Texas. Don't be surprised if all of us on the panel show up.
We've got enough room.
Not at the same time.
Not
at the same
time. I'm gonna have to get off here.
Okay.
I want to thank my panel. I'm gonna give all of y'all the last word. I always give my panel the last word, but I want to thank all my viewers and subscribers. Thank you for your super chats, your super stickers, your thumbs up, all your support. of Sunshine Shoulders. I never take that for granted. Thank you, panel. We're going to start with you, Fred. Give us a few lasting words before you get off here.
Well, a few lasting words is, thank you for having me on the show, Kelvin. I really enjoy it. And you have some of the most interesting guests, because I see more and more people are coming on, and it's a wealth of information out there. You got Roger, Danny telling us stuff, Dana, Texas. I'm looking forward to meet you guys. Hopefully sometime in the future there in the Philippines.
Thank you, Fred. I appreciate you. He's our resident OG. Fred's got more years over here than anybody, and you can't put a price on that, man. All the knowledge that you give us, man. And he gives it to us for free, man. That's why I always invite you on here. We're going to go to Roger. He's the manosphere expert. Give us something, man, to wake us up, Roger.
No, I mean, look, I'm here learning too, man. I'm getting my education from the guys, because at the end of the day, you can't really beat somebody who has boots on the ground, who has experience. The gentlemen on this panel have a lot of experience and a lot to offer. But my main thing is I more so am into empowering men and advocating for men. I think men should have the right to self-determination. I think men should live life on their own terms. I think men should not be afraid to take risk in terms of finding their own happiness and not be discouraged. So for me, I'm all about supporting the guys, and I will come and visit the Philippines. I won't talk to the women until I get there. I have to get there and look around, see what I like the place, check out the culture, learn from the people, feel my way around. I'll be using Calvin's eyes and his wisdom, because he's been there for 13 years. So I'll learn from all you guys. I'll learn from Calvin. So I'll just try and enjoy the culture a little bit and let whatever comes with the women come naturally. But I'm just here to learn, to be honest with you. And I'm learning a lot from you guys. So I thank you, gentlemen. You're teaching me a lot.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Roger, for your time.
Raj.
I see Roger got a fan here.
Raj, you got hit. You got a hit.
Now, she's a 32-year-old flight attendant, by the way, with Powell. She says, the 47-year-old guy, I can email my number and email you.
There you go.
Let me know.
There you go.
Okay, come on.
You guys are funny, man.
Well,
you guys are funny.
I just wanted to say that I enjoyed this couple of hours on here. But for those of you that are, like I said, seriously, for those of you that are coming over here, you want to chill out over here and stuff, I'm in Davao. So if you're in the area, hit me up. You know what I mean? I'll post my number in a little while. But you come over here, have an open mind. If you're over here for only a month or 3 weeks, have a good time and explore the place. But otherwise, that seriousness and all that stuff, you got to reserve that unless you're actually determined to be over here permanently. Is what I would suggest. Otherwise, this is a great place if you want to come over here and geographically, if you want to find a woman that doesn't give you any kind of crap and just goes with the flow and stuff. This is a place to be. It's not a woke place for sure. That's my experience here.
All right, thanks, Texas Dan. He always brings something to the table. All right, Dana. First of all, let me say no LDRs for me. And if you meet a woman and you decide to settle over here, always settle somewhere around where she lives, guys. Danny did that. It's the best thing to do. Fred did that. Your house over here is in her area, right, Fred?
Yes, it is.
Is your property Davao, Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't move her out of there. Then you'll be two strangers lost.
Yeah, I know.
You do that. Go ahead, Dana.
Okay.
He's a 73-year-old player on the panel.
Okay. My last word is, hey, Texas, how old is your mother-in-law?
Oh, wow. How's your mother-in-law, Texas?
She's good. She's
Wow,
good, man.
How old is she?
She's 46.
Wow.
Yeah, she
He
put
might
us
want
in.
to be
Yeah.
boots in her behind.
Yeah, I'm good. We get along very well, and we good, man. Good.
Don't be protecting her. Go, come on, give up that number, Texas.
Say what?
No,
Give up the number
listen.
to your
My
mother-in-law.
my last word is, look, guys. Prices stabilized over the Easter holiday week. That, like I said, by Wednesday, I expect to see them start falling again. All you got to do is email me and let me know about when you want to go and how long you're going to stay, and I'll get you a quote. Now, the other thing is try to always pay for your tickets at least 21 days in advance. Okay. Other than that, and if you can do it for longer, if you could do it for the 4 months out on booking your ticket, then do that. But book in advance and let's go. I'll be there in August. I'll be there for about a month. I may extend, you know.
Well, you gonna extend. Ain't no may extend. You gonna extend.
Calvin wants to be Nostradamus and tell me the future. So I may extend. I don't know, but I will be there at least a month.
I thought you were coming here for good.
I am coming for good, but not on this trip.
Oh, well, you gonna do the long distance thing. Oh, good luck.
Listen. Okay, thanks. I appreciate it because it's in my script. No, I'm going around to different places. I'm going to Davao. I'm going to Iloilo. I'm going to Cebu. I'm going to, if it's appropriate, I'm going to stop by and see you. But I'm going to be looking for the place that I'm going to plant my flag.
Okay, I hear you. Well, you better get him ready then, because when you come to get right home. Okay, Danny, you the last one.
Well, as far as my advice, for a long distance relationship, I think one of the number one key factors is communication. You gotta communicate every day. You gotta accept that there's going to be ups and downs. It's not going to be rainbows and unicorns the whole time. And never give up on one another. No matter what kind of you get into, never ever give up on one another.
Well, that's good, Danny. I wish you all the luck in the world. You're a good guy, man.
The love that you have for one another is going to pull you through. And have faith in God.
You deserve a good woman, man. I hope she knows the good man she's got, because I tell you what, it'll be 100 years before she finds somebody like you, brother. I promise you that. I think she knows that. Cal said to give Iskandari's book a shout out. I didn't know it was finished yet, Cal. He's got a link he can put on here. But remember, I don't have a boss over here, Cal Deadman. I work on my own time. But yeah, Iskandari.
That's funny, man.
You should, Jill. You got so funny, man. But he's an ex mailman, so they think that they somebody's boss. I'm sorry. But yeah, guys, thank y'all again. Thank all my viewers and subscribers. Join us next week. We're gonna have a different panel. Maybe I can get some women on here. Leica, you want to come on here? Give me your email. All right, here's my email. I can bring you on here. And we get some women on here and get their viewpoint. I'm going to see if I can get Marilyn and a couple of her friends on here. Oh, no, that's wrong. It should be one. Okay. Because I tried to hook up one of these guys. Here it is. I'm sorry. I tried to hook up one of these guys. He came over here thinking that Filipinos were desperate and they wanted anybody. I tried to hook him up, Roger. She shot him down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh man, that's funny, man.
Yeah, she
He
shot him
probably
down, man.
deserved it.
Yeah, but he thought that Filipinos would take anybody, and I tried to tell him.
Hell no.
No, nobody's taking anybody.
But okay, everybody.
You can't find it.
They say.
Okay, you too.
See you next time.
We'll see
All
you.
right, guys. Good night.